I can is that this is a team effort. Oftentimes people will say, where are the police? What are the police doing? We want to be there for everybody in our city, but we need to be able to work with all of our other city agencies, community-based organizations, and most importantly, the public that we serve.
It means that we are starting to get prepared to be on the world stage. It means that we're turning over a new leaf. We are focused on recruitment, on retention, and on morale. The Los Angeles Police Department is moving forward into the 21st century, and our city is coming right along with it.
Chief McDonnell is taking the helm of LAPD in an unprecedented moment of crisis in our city with crime, mental health, addiction, and homelessness. And Chief McDonnell brings the exact right combination of inside-outside experience, grassroots leadership that I genuinely believe is going to be a real asset in improving safety across the entire city.
It means a steady hand who has the experience and the knowledge and the result-oriented ability to move this department forward. But at the same time, someone who has a soft hand and knows how to also take steps to change the culture that needs to be changed and addressed in order to advance the department towards the new needs that the city has.
He's going to be an exceptional chief. There's really nobody that has his range of experience, his relationships with other law enforcement agencies and stakeholder communities throughout Los Angeles. And so I think he's going to be the ideal person to uplift the greatest police department in the country.
He brings everything. He is the total package. He's got the experience, he's got the wisdom, he's got the leadership, he's got the innovation to really put Los Angeles' safety, in a perfect mode to actually achieve it.
To be able to have the honor and privilege of wearing the Chief's badge means the world to me. Thank you.
Opening new doors to homes is a top priority in the city. Los Angeles is getting more housing, and it's also coming online in a new way. At a recent groundbreaking in Chatsworth, we got to see the modular approach to building new homes.
We had to look for 6 sites across the city of Los Angeles and prove that we could do what is right behind us. We are here at the module placement ceremony for a project we call the Cielo. The Cielo is a 100-unit permanent supportive housing development in the city of Los Angeles, but in the neighborhood of Chatsworth.
It is one of 5 modular supportive developments to be produced as part of a $40 million City of Los Angeles Triple H Innovation Challenge Award.
We are placing 12 blocks a day, meaning 24 units a day. In 4 days, we will have the entire apartment community stacked and ready for us to furnish and to put on the exterior finishes.
Today we are not just making a major milestone in the construction of this project, but we're celebrating a groundbreaking approach to solving one of LA's most pressing issues.
There's about 69,000 individuals sleeping homeless in LA County, and so to be able to provide a permanent home for our neighbors who don't have a home, it's really rewarding.
A lot of people are going through stuff. It doesn't take long to be on the streets, and we need to understand that. So moving forward, this is going to have full wraparound services to provide all the services that the people need to succeed and reintegrate into society.
If you're experiencing homelessness, we do ask that you go dial 211. And if you want information about just affordable housing or permanent supportive housing apartment buildings, you can go to lafhbuilds.org.
1, 2, and 3. Yeah!
Once someone has silicosis, it's irreversible. But it's a disease that can be prevented from occurring in the first place. Council members came together with LA County's Department of Public Health to share information for the workforce on this debilitating condition.
A number of workers, all young Latino men, and mostly immigrants, all working in stores, manufacturing shops in the Northeast San Fernando Valley, were diagnosed with a respiratory disease they initially thought was pneumonia. But it wasn't pneumonia, it was silicosis. Today we are educating the community about the important issue of silicosis. This is an issue that has particularly affected the Northeast San Fernando Valley, which is an important part of my district, the 3rd District of Los Angeles County. And we want to make sure our working class people, especially our Latino young men who are working in this field and often with this material, are educated and informed, that they are working in safe workplaces and have all of the information and resources they need to protect themselves.
The market for this artificial stone really just started a number of years ago. It has just grown and grown and grown.
As a public official, part of my charge is to look after the most vulnerable. And in this situation, this is an affliction that is really going after the most vulnerable folks. And they need to know they have rights. They need to know that there are ways to protect yourself from getting this silicosis. And then we as a society need to make sure that we also create the regulations in the space so that the businesses are incentivized and required to take the precautions they need to do to protect the workers.
Latino immigrant worker community across all industries is often the target of health and safety violations, even when there are strong regulations in place like we have here.
Estamos aquí porque es urgente que las organizaciones, que los trabajadores, que los empleados y los políticos se unan para buscar una solución para proteger trabajadores no tan solo de enfermedad, sino de la muerte.
So if you don't know about silicosis, please check out the city's website or the county's website. You can learn about it, you can learn how to prevent it, you can help educate folks and nip this in the bud as much as we can and stop it before it impacts many, many more lives.
According to the City of LA's Planning Department, more than 30,000 seniors 65 and older live in South LA. Given that seniors are affected by increasing temperatures more than others, Council President Marquise Harris Dawson was on hand with LA City's Department of Aging and the LADWP to help out with a giveaway.
We're excited to be here this morning to make sure our folks have air conditioning in their houses and apartments and the places where they live, so we don't lose any people to this crazy heat that we keep having.
Today we're at Crenshaw Christian Center this morning with DWP, the Department of Aging, giving away air conditioning units for seniors who live in places where it's difficult to get AC. We know it stays hot so much longer now. We're into almost November and it's still very, very warm. And it gets even hotter in the summers, not just in the valley, but in places like South LA and East LA. And so DWP stepped up to figure out how to get AC units into homes that need them.
When it gets hot, use the air conditioning. It beats the alternative, which can not be pleasant.
Come out. Don't worry about it. This is all about helping. Everything that's done here is to make their life better. So as long as you're a DWP customer, you can take advantage of all the services here and the free air conditioning units as well.
Anyone that is hesitating to come out for an event like this, please take advantage of things that are being offered to them to help them be comfortable. Don't be afraid to come out and join us, because you're missing out on a great opportunity.
We offer a number of different services. Almost all of them are free.
We encourage them to turn on the air conditioning units, not to have them stored. Oftentimes, older adults will be concerned about the expense.
We want people to know they shouldn't worry about paying the bill, because we have programs to help them with that and not suffer the health consequences.
Anyone looking for more information, you can contact the Department of Aging, you can contact Council District 8. Either way, we'll get you the information you need. If we have the resources and you're a resident of Los Angeles, we want to make sure we connect those two things.
Thanksgiving is here, and no matter how you cook the turkey, you don't want to have to call in the fire department. The LAFD has some tips to keep everyone safe during this national holiday.
The number one mistake that people make while cooking during Thanksgiving is that they leave the kitchen. When you leave the kitchen, the food is not attended. There could be hazards around there. There could be kids that come within close contact of the hot cooking materials. So the number one hazard is when people leave the kitchen and they leave food and the oven unattended. The number one thing that people can do when they're using their oven, first is open up your oven. Make sure that you're not storing anything inside there. Second is you need to constantly be monitoring the oven. If any smoke starts coming out of it, you need to immediately stop. You also should have a fire extinguisher nearby, and it's very important that you have working smoke alarms that are inside the house. If you are going to deep fry a turkey, because we know a lot of people do enjoy that, you have to take every precaution that is available. So number one, you never cook a deep fried turkey inside. When you're outside, you want to make sure that you have it on a level surface. You don't want to have too much oil in there. That's a big mistake that a lot of people make. Also, you want to make sure that your turkey has been thawed out. If you put in a frozen turkey or even a partially thawed turkey, it can have an explosive result. So if you are going to be cooking outside, deep frying a turkey, we also recommend that you have a fire extinguisher on hand nearby, ready to put that out. And if you do get a fire, make sure that you call 911. As firefighters, the number one thing that we respond to on Thanksgiving is cooking fires. So we want to make sure that everyone stays safe. We don't want to have to go to your house. We don't want to have to put out a fire in your kitchen. We don't want to have to treat your child who's been burned, because all this is preventable. So we want you to enjoy your holiday and do it without a fire, do it without an injury, and we want you to be as safe as possible. For more information, you can go to LAFD.org, and we have lots of safety tips for you and your family.
Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, announced its latest art installation titled Everyday Transcendence. Local artist Allison Kunith created the hand-painted mural, which spans 3 connecting walls above a new concessions area on the departures level in Terminal 4. Kunith is known for her geometric murals and large-scale watercolor paintings. According to LAX, the mural's sunburst patterns produce a sense of movement and connectivity that mimic the comings and goings of passengers. As part of the Terminal 4 renovations, the mural supports the airport's mission to create a welcoming and culturally rich environment for all travelers. For more information, see the news releases section at lawa.org. An annual holiday toy drive is now on, hosted by the Los Angeles Police Department Devonshire Police Activity League supporters, also known as PALS. LAPD Devonshire PALS has been offering youth programs since 1973, and last year, over 900 gifts were handed out as part of its annual holiday toy giveaway. On Saturday, December 14, children from the local community will get to meet Santa, enjoy holiday treats, choose a gift, and receive stocking stuffers. The public is invited to pick up a toy collection box by contacting LAPD Devonshire PALS or drop off a donation by December 12, 2024. To find out more, visit devonshire-pals.org/events or call 818-885-6433. The Port of Los Angeles has been named as Employer of the Year and has been honored with an Innovation Award by WTS Los Angeles. WTS, which began as the Women's Transportation Seminar, is an international organization dedicated to creating a more diverse, inclusive, and equitable transportation industry. At the annual event of WTS LA, the Port won Employer of the Year for its efforts to advance women in its ranks and within transportation overall. The Port won the WTS LA Innovative Transportation Solutions Award for the Pier 400 on-dock rail expansion, which had a team of women engineering professionals in key roles. For more information, click on the latest news tab at portoflosangeles.org/news.
Staying in the game can be a challenge, but LA's Department of Recreation and Parks offers soccer with a difference. These seniors are tackling movement by keeping active and scoring big in their health game.
So we are in Canoga Park at Lanark Recreation Center, and we have our Walking Soccer World Cup today. Play ball! So the intention behind creating the World Cup, they play every single Wednesday and Friday here, so they train twice a week. Each year we do a culminating event where they get together with their countrymen and play against one another in a tournament, and we end up with awards. So it's a really fun thing that helps the program grow because they have something to look forward to at the end of each year.
So we have 6 teams here. We have United States, we have Israel, we have Peru, South America, England, and Ukraine. All the players were born or have citizenship of the country that they have.
And it's like being a kid. It's like being 7, 8 years old. And we're 70 and up. I have 2 players that one is 86 and the other one is 84. And on the other place, we have one that is 94 years old and he's still playing. So that is encouraging, isn't it? That is amazing. I love that. I'm 71 years old, and every time I see them, it's like, you know, my heroes. They're amazing.
Mostly the people 70 and up, and they're looking for activity to do something. Now, they can't play regular soccer because of the physical limitations. So this is the place that we offer them.
This is medicine for you guys. You know, think about instead of going to your doctor or sitting and complaining or eating munchies at the TV, you can come out, enjoy the sun, social, and walking soccer, and you have the competitive, the energy again, the adrenaline is running. So all this, it's really medicine.
The sense of community they have, it's really quite wonderful. I think so many older people are having trouble finding things to do in community, and this is a really active way for them to do things. I think a lot of senior activities that are offered tend to assume that the senior community is sedentary already, but there's quite a few people that want to move, they want to play, they want to continue to be active, and it helps their psychology, it helps their physiology. We're really excited about the program and what it's done for the players.
The importance of self-expression cannot be overstated, and for artists, any commercial recognition can help pay the rent, all of which is doubly true for artists with disabilities. LA's Department on Disabilities set out to recognize and celebrate over 50 artists.
We're here at Los Angeles City Hall celebrating the 17th Annual Disability Arts Exhibition. This is something we're very proud of. In the main bridge gallery between City Hall and City Hall East in Los Angeles, for 3 to 4 weeks a year, we get to display their art. The general public can come see it. It's free to the public. It's open whenever City Hall is open, and it's a great opportunity for artists to, again, get the kind of visibility they deserve.
So over 50 artists from 8 different organizations have art that is showcased at the City Hall Bridge. Each artist represents their passion for art in a different way. So when you go and you check out the bridge, you'll see a bunch of artwork in different mediums. And this is going to be the artist's choice. And so today we're actually recognizing the artists with a special ceremony, and we're going to be handing out certificates and awards.
It feels wonderful to make sure every single artist with a disability is recognized. We support them in creating their art, and we try to support them in turning their art into an actual business for them.
These artists have a means to become more independent, and we're hoping by showcasing their artwork, we get that message across and we get attention on their art for that purpose. For more information on the Department on Disability and our upcoming events and activities, please visit disability.lacity.gov.
The healing arts were on display at a recent event in MacArthur Park. For the many communities in the area, it was a chance to share the culture and meanings of their healing traditions.
El Mercadito Mágico está ocurriendo right now. It's happening in the middle of MacArthur Park, and it's a resource fair organized by the Levitt Pavilion and KYCC.
The Koreatown Youth and Community Center is a 50-year-old organization here in Koreatown, and we're here at a traditional healing arts festival in MacArthur Park. We're in front of Levitt Pavilion, and we're bringing together different healers from this community, mostly AAPI, Latine, and Indigenous healers, to tell us about their different modalities. One of our goals is really to share these practices within our community for the cultures, So for example, acupuncture. We have a lot of acupuncture clinics in this neighborhood, but the Latina community might not understand the philosophy behind it. And so our goal is really to share these different practices with each other so that they'll be able to understand the deeper meaning and that our neighbors will be able to access some of those services at the clinics that are here in the community. So I thought instead of focusing on some of the after effects of substance use disorders, let's look at the preventative ways that we can help heal our community. We have interpreters who are translating in Spanish, Korean, and ASL, so that all of these different practices and some of the theories behind them is going to be translated for people in the community. And we have vendors, small businesses, outreaching here, and they're all from this neighborhood.
People oftentimes talk about MacArthur Park being a very dirty place, a very scary place. But right here, you got families accessing services around housing, access services around employment, support for their families, food access. And so this is a beautiful event that we invite everybody to join us. And also, if you don't know about these events that are happening, people can find out about all these events that we're hosting, that we're partnering with community by going on all social media platforms at CD1 Los Angeles.
A bystander going about their day was in the right place at the right time to save a life. The Los Angeles Fire Department paid tribute to this everyday hero. Let's hear the story.
Today we had an excellent Board of Fire Commission recognition of members that went above and beyond, that were able to perform advanced life support and to be able to bring back a human being who was clinically dead and give him a second chance. We run over 1,500 emergency incidents every single day. We transport over 600 people to the hospital every single day, and we rarely know of the outcome of those patients. But today, we had a positive outcome, and our patient has a second chance at life.
I had just clocked out for work. It was a pretty hot day, I remember. I was getting ready to get out of there, and I just happened to hear a few of the members just screaming, like asking for help. So immediately I jumped into action. I put the car in park, ran over there, and I noticed Samir, he had collapsed. I had noticed somebody had already called 911, so there was a member standing by, and they stepped into action, started CPR, which kind of allowed me to step back, and immediately I knew the AED is in the building, so I ran over to the building, grabbed the AED, brought it back out, and just followed direction. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, honestly, but just remembered my training. The fire department responded very quickly, which was awesome, just having them there, and then having them on the phone just supporting us.
Well, we initially got the call, it was a cardiac arrest. Usually when Costco calls it, we know it's serious. Costco employees as well as bystanders initiated CPR, as well as got the AED. In my experience, when the AED is initially put on, it's a lifesaver. I know people are a little intimidated by it, but they shouldn't be, because that initial shock is you're gonna see people walk out of the hospital.
I'm alive because those people really saved my life. A million thanks to those good Samaritans that helped me to stay alive. I'm grateful that you guys exist. Otherwise, I wouldn't exist today.
Well, it feels great, and to see the video, it's touching, and to know that it was a collaborative effort with the Costco we go to and shop every day and see these individuals. I know it makes them feel good, and it just affirms why I got on the job, to help people.
The outcome was awesome. I mean, to hear his voice and knowing he made it felt great, and it was awesome to share the room full of heroes.
From the initial call to our dispatchers to bystanders that I may never see again that helped load the patient. He was a big man that continued CPR, getting that oxygenated blood that's left over in the heart to the vital organs. And then to the nursing staff being ready, all the factors, all the players were in line that day to have a positive outcome for this gentleman.
Being a paramedic for 20 years and talking to the other medics out there, they go, we rarely know what the outcome is. They never see him again. To see Mr. Haroon provide his gratitude profoundly to these members that saved their life is something we don't get very often. And our members, the Los Angeles City Firefighter Paramedics, everybody watching can be so proud of them. They do an outstanding job every single day.
Coming to you Live from the heart of Hollywood, it's the most wonderful parade of the year. Join the city of Los Angeles in starting the holiday season with the Hollywood Christmas Parade on Sunday, December 1st. Now in its 92nd year, this annual favorite keeps on growing. Enjoy the balloons and floats, boo at the Grinch, and cheer for Santa Claus. Tap and clap along to a host of performers, marching bands, dance groups, and cheer squads. This year's Grand Marshal is Jeremy Renner, and he'll be joined by elected officials and countless other stars from screens big and small. The Hollywood Christmas Parade is on Sunday, December 1st, beginning at 6 p.m. For more information, visit thehollywoodchristmasparade.org. Enjoy a story walk curated by the Los Angeles Public Library at the Traveltown Museum in Griffith Park. Explore LA's railroad history at Traveltown and read about one of the first female railroad engineers, Olive Dennis. Dennis was a civil engineer who became the first female engineer at Baltimore and Ohio railroads. Throughout her career, Dennis worked on improving the passenger experience on trains. Read all about her achievements in the book Railroad Engineer Olive Dennis. Visit the museum and read the book as part of this self-directed story walk at Traveltown, available through Saturday, November 30th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, visit lapl.org/events. The City of Los Angeles revs up for the LA Auto Show, which starts on November 22nd. The car is the star at one of the world's largest and most prestigious auto shows, which offers the chance to get up close to new models for auto fans, enthusiasts, and shoppers alike. For 10 days, the convention center puts the automobile under the spotlight. There will be over 1,000 vehicles, more than 1 million square feet of car culture, and the most ride and drive experiences in the show's history. Enjoy the LA Auto Show from Friday, November 22nd to Sunday, December 1st, open daily. For show hours, special ticket prices, and more information, check out laAutoShow.com. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's all for this week. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. Remember that you can watch us online anytime at lacityview.org, and we're also on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.
regularly scheduled meeting of your Los Angeles City Council. Today is Friday, the 22nd day of November in the year 2024. My name is Marquis Harris-Dawson, and I serve as president of the City Council. Public comment will be taken both in person in this chamber and via teleconference for today's meeting. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Blumenfield, De Leon, Harris-Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt, Krikorian, Lee, McCosker, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto-Martinez, and Yaroslavsky. 12 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
All right, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes of November 20th, 2024.
Councilmember Hernandez moves. Councilmember McCosker seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Councilmember Yaroslavsky moves. Councilmember Price seconds. Next. Let's run through the agenda.
Thank you, sir. There is a request to continue item number 1 to Wednesday, February 26, 2025.
Without objection, that'll be the order.
Thank you. Items 2 through 7 are items for which public hearings have been held. The Transportation Committee report for item 6 has been submitted and uploaded to Council File number 24-0879-S1.
All right, specials members. To my left, Councilmember Hernandez.
I would like to call, no, I'm just kidding. I would like to call item 7 for comments, please.
Item number 7 for comments for Councilmember.
For Councilmember Rahman.
Hernandez on behalf of Councilmember Rahman. Excellent. All right, any specials on my right? Councilmember Price.
Mr. President, out of an abundance of caution, the city attorney has asked that I recuse myself from item 7 because I am a landlord. Additionally, I'm recusing myself from item 6 because my wife's employer has worked with applicants on this item. So
all right.
Item 6 and 7.
Items 6 and 7 for the purposes of recusal for Councilmember Price. Any other specials to my right? All right. What's available for us to vote on at this time?
The council may vote on items 2 through 5.
All right. Items 2 through 5 are before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right. What's next?
Would the council like to hear the comments for item 7 now?
Yes, let's do that. Councilmember Rahman, but does Mr. Price have to recuse for the comments too? Okay, Mr. Price? Mr. De Leon, can you tap Mr. Price? We're about to do item 7.
Thank you.
And as he's recusing, let's welcome one of our colleagues to the chamber from the 5th Council District. Councilmember Paul Koretz is in the house. Let's give him a big round of applause. Councilmember Rahman.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Councilmember Hernandez, for calling this special on my behalf. Before us today is a motion related to our affordable housing stock, some of which is at risk of losing its affordability due to expiring covenants and market pressures that are parallel to that. Almost 6,000 units actually have covenants that are set to expire by December 31st, 2027. Some of these can be re-syndicated to retain their affordability, some cannot. And this motion puts forward 2 additional tools that can help us address the loss of those, or potential loss of those units: the Tenant Opportunity to Purchase Act and the Community Opportunity to Purchase Act, TOPA and COPA. These policies allow for either tenants of multifamily buildings the option to collectively purchase their buildings or allow a qualified nonprofit to make an offer to purchase a building if the property owner decides to sell. Both of these are used in other cities for affordable housing preservation. We've seen programs at the county level to actually pilot a community land trust program and research the benefits of these kinds of programs. And they had a pilot that stabilized 110 tenants in their homes, created a pathway to resident ownership, and reduced per unit construction costs for the project that resulted by 47%, which is great. And so these are policies that can potentially preserve housing, prevent displacement, and with dedicated funding from Measure ULA, now we do have to develop the city's capacity to be able to manage these kinds of projects. So that's what today's work is before us is about. I want to thank the Los Angeles Community Land Trust Coalition for their work and leadership in putting forward these ideas and helping the city to gain greater strength in managing these issues. And I'm excited to move this forward, and I ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
All right. That concludes our public comments for that item. Is that item available for us to vote on?
Yes.
All right. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
All right. What's next?
The council may consider item number 6.
All right. We'll item number 6. If there are no comments from the members, Mr. Price remains recused. Let's open the roll on item number 6, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
All right, what's next?
Thank you. The council may go to presentations or public comment.
Thank you so much. We'll go to presentations now, and we'll begin our day of presentations with a very, very special presentation to be led by our own Councilwoman, Monica Rodriguez.
Thank you, colleagues. I'd like to commence this celebration and invite our friends from the Fernandeño Tatavian Band of Mission Indians for a performance. Okay. Oh, right here, Mark. Mark. Thank you. And I'd now like to introduce Chief Morales and Andrew Morales to give us an opening blessing and land welcoming.
Thank you. Greetings and welcome to all of you. My name is Chief Red Blood Anthony Morales, and I'm accompanied by several of my tribal members and my son Andrew, guiding young Claude Morales, who will be conducting an opening prayer in our language. We are the descendants of the Gabrielino Sangiro Band of Mission Indians whose ancestors inhabited our major village of Yagna, which is now Los Angeles. Our ancestral tribal land consists of Los Angeles County, which encompasses all of the Los Angeles Basin. To the north, Angeles National Forest, San Gabriel Mountains, which are now designated as a national monument. To the east, portions of San Bernardino, Riverside County, and to the south, Aliso Creek in Orange County, all along the ocean, west into the Santa Monica Mountains. It also includes 4 islands, which is Catalina, San Nicolas, San Clemente, and Santa Barbara. I say it is still our tribal land, not because we say it's still our tribal land because we never gave it away. Thank you.
Mihayo yehia, mihayo tatarahum, natwanana hurumut navakit onging tangwa tavangar, eni akar jingangna. The hubit husonar, the nekwatami nusuk muad, Tukabar Itar, Mahut, Major Washun Wayward, Huripayas Tarahat Tarahum, Hutawesh Tavangar, Tangma Tavagar, Maraka Yoto, Takata Roma Taroit, Motete Hevit, Nyokchoit, Noi Kwashmar Akahin, Tukwevish Ashna, Hutapayas Ataroit Napa, New York, many Hodada, many Hodada, many Hodada, many Hodada, Ekoshem, to Hovid.
Thank you. And now I'd like to invite back Mark Villaseñor to grace us with a song before we begin the formal presentation. Thank you, Chief Morales, Andrew Morales, Mark Villaseñor, Rudy Ortega, for helping us properly set the spirit for today. Colleagues, thank you for the privilege and the honor of allowing me to lead this presentation on behalf of our great city, alongside incredible tribal leaders and outstanding members of the Native American community, to celebrate and kick off the initiation of Native American Heritage Month. Today we kick off this month-long celebration of the history, culture, and traditions and legacy of Native Americans. But as I say at all the Heritage Months, that we cannot and should not just rely on one month alone. Our histories are far too deep, far too rich, and far too important to only recognize in 1 month of every year. And for that, I thank you for the privilege and the honor to lead us in this presentation today. Today marks only an opportunity for us to be reminded of the incredible importance of the people that grace this land from sea to sea prior to European arrival. And I'm privileged to represent Council District 7, home to a rich and abundant Native American history and community, from Pacoima to Tujunga and everything in between. I have been proud to lead on policy issues that have helped to ensure access to policymaking decisions, and I was actually thankful that it was just I think about 2 weeks ago, that I was honored by PUCU for the work in establishing and collaborating with them the first tribal conservation corps that is housed at Pacoima City Hall. But it was in that moment, as I was amongst all these young academic and or young Native American students that are in pursuit of their academic careers, that it dawned on me that in the Olivia Mitchell Youth Council, we have an opportunity to work with intentionality to create space for the people to be properly represented, not just by having 2 representatives by each council district, but to dedicate 2 positions to be appointed by the Native American Commission to have youth representation and Native voices on that commission, and I was proud to introduce that motion just on Wednesday. So I look forward to that coming to fulfillment. This year, I also introduced a resolution to support AB 3074 to prohibit public schools from using any derogatory Native American term as a school or athletic team name, mascot, or nickname. And last year, in public safety, based on one of my motions, LAPD presented on how they are ensuring compliance with state law that missing Indigenous people are receiving the resources needed to be reconnected with their families. This month, we lit up City Hall at the start of November to kick off this Heritage Month. On November 8th, we lit it up in observation of missing and murdered Indigenous women, relatives, and families. Last Friday was in recognition for the Native American Two Spirits. This is for people who have a third gender social role in their communities. And it's an umbrella. It's an umbrella term that can encompass a variety of identities, and Two-Spirit people may identify as part of the LGBTQ+ or Native Out Indigiqueer communities. Tonight is for Every Child Matters movement in response to the legacy of residential schools, which had devastating impacts on Indigenous communities. And we will close out the month next Friday with the colors of Native American Heritage Month. I want to start this presentation by thanking a few people for helping to bring us all here today. And I know the Dodgers slowed us, but here we are, celebrating this rightful moment. And thank you all for making your accommodations so that we could continue to honor this very important month. Thank you to John Jackson, who helped to bridge and to facilitate the Bridge Gallery this year. And I want to invite you, colleagues, we had the ribbon cutting this morning. It is a stunning collection of artistry and history that I want to invite you to the bridge to look at. And I want to thank Dawn for her work in helping to put that collection together and put that on display. It will be up through November 29th, and I hope you all get an opportunity to go see that. Many of the artists, I want to thank all the artists that are all here today that contributed to that, and I thank you for your work. I want to thank Alejandra Valdez, Executive Director of the Los Angeles City County Native American Indian Commission, and we work closely with the Commission to put today's presentation together, and it would not be possible without your incredible work. To the chair of the commission, Sean Inmatesdog, whose leadership on the commission has been key to today's celebration. And I'd like to invite Sean for a few words.
Thank you, thank you, Councilwoman Rodriguez. Hihani washte, Sean Inmatesdog imachiapi, Mila Kota na Pine Ridge Reservation imataha, na pe washte chiuzapi. Hello, my name is Sean Inmatesdog. I'm Lakota from the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota, and I greet you guys with a warm handshake this morning. It is a true honor to welcome you to the Los Angeles Native American Indian Commission's Native Heritage Month celebration. I would like to extend my gratitude to Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez for sponsoring our event this morning, and to the entire City Council for your ongoing support of our Native American community here in Los Angeles. This year marks the 18th anniversary of the city's very first Native Heritage Month celebration. We owe tremendous thanks to those who worked tirelessly to make this a reality, ensuring that we have this space today and for future generations. Our theme this year is weaving together a community of traditions, culture, and respect. In line with this theme, we are proud to honor 3 outstanding leaders from our community who truly embody the values and spirit of what we stand for. So congratulations to Chief Anthony Morales of the Gabrielino people, Cynthia Ruiz from the Cherokee Nation, and to Kenny Ramos of the Barona Band of Mission Indians. Your contributions to our community and your dedication to uplifting our voices continue to inspire us all. The LA Native American Indian Commission was established 48 years ago with the mission of securing funding and resources to address the socioeconomic and other challenges within our community. Nearly 5 decades later, we continue advocating for policy change that strengthen our community and fight for the visibility and recognition we deserve, both here in Los Angeles and beyond. So again, today we gather to celebrate the rich history, diverse cultures, and profound contributions of the Native American community. This month offers a unique opportunity to reflect on stories, traditions, and resilience of Native people, both present and past, while honoring the legacies that continue to inspire us. So as we celebrate today, let us come together in unity and respect, recognizing the deep connection between Native communities and the land we stand on. This is a time to learn from one another, share our experiences, and deepen our appreciation for our rich Native heritage. So thank you guys very much again. Congratulations to our honorees.
Thank you, Sean. One person who generally tends to fall under the radar for all the work on Heritage Months is someone that I know we all collaborate with, colleagues, and I'd like at this time to invite our very own General Manager from the Department of Cultural Affairs, Daniel Tarica.
Well, good morning, and thanks so much, Councilwoman Rodriguez. It's really an honor to be here this morning to celebrate the 2024 Native American Heritage Month. This year's tradition of weaving together a community of traditions, culture, and respect inspires us to reflect on the interconnectedness that we share through mutual respect so that we can grow stronger together. Honoring traditions, innovating progress, and recognizing the Native American journey is how we as Angelenos can support our local Native American communities forge a strong path towards a brighter future. Today, we celebrate and showcase Native American music, art, and performances that also reflect the importance of the land and legacies, fostering a sense of empathy and solidarity. The community's impact is felt every day through its civic leaders, its change makers, its entrepreneurs, educators, caregivers, and artisans, and also its students and cultural bearers of traditions, enriching our city in so many countless ways. This year, we continue our city's tradition by presenting the 2024 Heritage Month Calendar and Cultural Guide that celebrates the outstanding intellect, talent, and creativity of Native American artists, poets, performers, writers, and actors, designers, and creative professionals here in Los Angeles. It contains visual art and poetry from an amazing selection of established and emerging artists, as well as many art exhibitions, special events, and community gatherings. DCA appreciates and has worked in collaboration with our elected officials and organizers of today's event to bring you inspiration and entertainment with some of the most talented Los Angeles performing artists as part of our Native American Heritage Guide. We also want to very much thank our organizers of today's event. We want to thank the Office of Mayor Karen Bass and the Los Angeles City Council. We also want to give a deep level of gratitude to the Councilmember Rodriguez and her team for bringing us together today, the Los Angeles City County Native American Indian Commission, and our staff at the Department of Cultural Affairs. And I want to share my gratitude and appreciation for this month's honorees, Chief Anthony Morales, Cynthia Ruiz, and Kenny Ramos for their outstanding work and leadership. And now I have the honor of introducing the cover artist for this year's guide, Adrian Kinsella. Adrian is a fine artist working in a variety of media with a focus on drawing and painting. As a descendant of the Tongva of Los Angeles, themes of access and belonging, or lack thereof, span her work. Her drawings are meticulously rendered and often include native plants that function as both symbols and direct references to longevity within the landscape, quietly declaring, "We are still here." Thanks to Adrienne for her hard work, and we want to invite her up to be able to say a few words.
Good morning. I first just wanted to give a heartfelt thank you for featuring my work on cover. What an incredible honor. Thank you. I also want to thank you for the very important steps that events like this make in healing the history of Los Angeles, where for our tribe, historically, there was erasure. I can't tell you how many times I've run into people within Los Angeles who say, "Oh, I didn't know there was a tribe here." And I don't blame them for that, but I'm so encouraged by the steps you all are making, thank you, to bring visibility. This piece features my hands, actually. It comes from a very personal place of my weekly hikes in Griffith Park, where there's connection, where our tribe lived and thrived, for me there, and where the indigenous plants quietly declare, we are still here. The plant featured is blue elderberry, which was used medicinally for the tribe of healing. I also featured hands in a gesture perhaps receiving healing and also recognizing the healing power of hands, whether it's medical professionals in medicine, whether it's the healing power of touch personally for us, and hands as channels of healing. And I fully believe that as a city, we have much to learn and a long way to go, but that we're making wonderful steps. I love Los Angeles so much, and I'm so honored to be here today. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
And now together, we are excited to reveal the cover of the Heritage Month Guide.
Thank you. And again, another gorgeous collection featuring all of the works that help to really commemorate and celebrate and tell the stories that so often were left out of our history books. So thank you all so much for your collaboration and work. And thank you, Daniel, for you and your team for always working with all of our offices to help produce this magnificent collection. So thank you again to our Department of Cultural Affairs as well. And I want to especially note Juan Garcian and David Navoa, who also have gone above and beyond. It is my honor to begin recognizing our nominees and our honorees, other than Chief Morales, leader of the San Gabriel Band of Mission Indians. Chief Morales is committed to the preservation and revitalization of the San Gabriel Band of Mission Indians, cultural practices and traditions. He has overseen initiatives aimed at maintaining the tribe's language, rituals, and customs, ensuring these vital aspects of their identity are passed down to future generations. As a cultural bearer, Chief Morales keeps traditional practices, stories, and customs alive with the community. His efforts ensure that invaluable knowledge and wisdom of the Gabrielino are passed down to future generations and fostering a deep sense of identity and pride among the tribe's members. It is my great honor to recognize Chief Morales as this year's Spirit of Tradition honoree.
Again, mi hija. I'm going to start out with just a couple words that I want to share with everybody regarding my award. So I'm going to start off with, It's an honor for me to be acknowledged as a recipient of the 2024 Native American Heritage Month Spirit of Tradition Award. I thank Los Angeles City Council for this recognition, which also recognizes our tribe, the Gabrielino San Gabriel Band of Mission Indians. This past weekend, I had the honor of attending and participating in the ribbon cutting of an opening celebration of a new addition at the Natural History Museum. At the entrance along the wall is a beautiful mural of a timeline of the beginning of Los Angeles till the present. It starts with our ancestors who have been here since time immemorial and are the original land stewards of the greater Los Angeles area. I continue to lead our tribe and youth to share our culture so that it will never become extinct or erased. I am hopeful that we can continue working with the City of Los Angeles now and in the future for the city to acknowledge the contributions of our ancestors in building the foundation of making Los Angeles what it is today. It is time for us to be heard. It is time for us to be visible. Wa'at guwata ta'i hanuka, in the memory of our ancestors. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Morales. And it is my honor to recognize our next honoree, who for many in this building is no stranger, Cynthia Ruiz. Cynthia is a distinguished professor, best-selling author, executive coach, and inspirational speaker renowned for her expertise in leadership. Her dedication to Cherokee heritage has been recognized with awards such as Cherokee Nation Community Leader of the Year and Cherokee Phoenix 7 Feathers Award. Cynthia follows in the footsteps of her mother, who served on the Los Angeles City County Native American Indian Commission for 20 years. Cynthia maintains a strong connection to Native American community in Los Angeles, serving as a dedicated leader and advocate for Native American issues. She mentors numerous individuals within the community and champions critical Native American causes and plays a pivotal role in organizing and leading Native American events throughout Los Angeles. It is my great honor to recognize Cynthia Ruiz as this year's Spirit of Community honoree.
Dawado, Osio Dawado, Lion Mother. My Cherokee name is Lion Mother, and I start everything I do with gratitude. So I want to express my gratitude to Councilwoman Rodriguez, all the City Council, and the Native American Indian Commission, and along with all the supporters that came out to support us today. You know, 18 years ago, I was president of Public Works, and that's when we started Native American Heritage Month. In my office, we had a small meeting. Chief Anthony Morales was there, Tribal President Rudy Ortega, Paula Starr, Ron Andrade, my mother, and myself, under the leadership of then Mayor Villaraigosa. We said it's important to celebrate this vibrant Native American community here in Los Angeles. So I dedicate this to my mother because I know that I stand on the shoulders of the strong Cherokee warrior women that have come before me, which we always look back and honor our ancestors. But I also am proud to say I dedicate this to the future. I have a 3-week-old grandson that came on November 1st when we were supposed to be here. And for me, that's a reminder of the future. So I hope that each and every one of us keep the spirit of community in our hearts and that we continue this tradition for many more years to come. Thank you very much. Wado.
Thank you, Cynthia. And our next honoree is Kenny Ramos from the Barona Band of Mission Indians, Kumeyaay Nation. Mr. Ramos grew up in the Barona Indian Reservation in San Diego County and graduated from UCLA with a degree in American Indian Studies. He is passionate about making theater that centers around Native perspectives, asserts tribal sovereignty, and challenges settler colonial realities of American culture and society. Kenny is an ensemble member at Cornerstone Theater Company in Los Angeles. He has been part of the national touring company of Peter Pan, the Broadway musical, which had a 3-week run at the Pantages Theater in Hollywood this summer. Kenny continues to live in his ancestral tribal homelands today, where he has been an artist in residence at La Jolla Playhouse, serving on the Community Advisory Council at the Old Globe, and is under commission at Diversionary Theater. And it is my great honor to recognize Kenny Ramos as this year's Spirit of Creativity honoree.
Thank you so much. That's very nice.
Okay. Halko Manuea, Inyach Kenny Ramos, Wichihi, Nata Ken Ramos, Nichihi, Natal Joanne Ramos, Wichihi, Nata Unuwe, Wichihi, Ramos Niapuma Sugucho, Ilocos Norte Niapuma, Waipahu Hawaii Kupai, Natal Unuwe, Wichihi, Benegas Niapuma Welch, Quetchamak Barona Indian Reservation, Kupai. Hi everyone, my name is Kenny Ramos. I'm from the Barona Panda Mission Indians in the Kumeyaay Nation. And my father is Ken Ramos, and my mother is Joanne Ramos. And my families are Benegas and Welch, and I'm from Capitan Grande Reservation and the Barona Indian Reservation. I already said that. I didn't know what to prepare. I'm just very nervous and very excited to be here. I didn't know I'd be speaking. But yeah, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to Sean Imitates Dog and the LA Native American Indian Commission for thinking of me for this honor, and of course LA City Council. I really believe in the power of theater and storytelling and what it can do for our nations and for our communities and for the land that we occupy, that we are here on. And I really am just grateful that to be honored and seen in this way. I want to also say thank you to the Gabrielino Tongva and Fernandino Tataviam nations. This land and this place is very important to me as someone that went to UCLA and lived in LA for 10-ish years. Not that I'm that old. Anyway, 10-ish years. You know, this land's just very special to me, and I really want to pay my respects to the people whose lands that we're on and say thank you for letting me be here and having me here and for fostering me. And I also just want to just give so much gratitude to my family, my nation, my community. We're having a funeral at home right now for one of our elders. I feel important to name her Caroline Mendoza, someone that I love and we've loved very much, and I just want to name her. And I also just want to thank my family for being here. My dad's here, my grandparents, and my auntie and uncle, and I'm really appreciative to them for being here, and my many other relatives. I'm who I am today because of you all, and I dedicate this to my mother who passed away earlier this year, and I'm just really grateful to have community here in Los Angeles and appreciative to you all for having me today. Thank you. Leahan.
Thank you, colleagues. Thank you to our incredible honorees and to everyone that has been part of making this moment possible. I want to thank you all and all of our guests who have been part of how we've built this celebration together. And on behalf of the Los Angeles City Council, thank you all for helping us officially commence the official Native American Heritage Month here in the city of Los Angeles. Congratulations to all our honorees.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Rodriguez, and thank all the presenters today who've come and shared with us. I just want to acknowledge the beautiful celebration that we've had today. We were supposed to have on November 1st, but folks were very accommodating of the Los Angeles Dodgers and their little event that they had. So thank you all so much for everything you have done. We have a member on the queue, Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you so much, Councilwoman Rodriguez, for bringing this presentation forward. Thank you, everybody, for showing up always as your true selves and so powerful and reminding us who was here first, whose leadership we should follow. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Councilmember De Leon. Councilmember De Leon.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez, thank you very much for an incredibly powerful presentation to the awardees, Chairman Morales, a very long time constituent of mine in the Assembly, in the Senate, in the City Council, Cynthia Ruiz. Thank you very much for having such a powerful voice as a woman, as a Latina, as a woman of Native American origins. I thank you very much to Kenny Ramos, Barona down in San Diego. Just, you know, felicidades to all of you and to the Native American, LA City, as well as County Native American Indian Commission. Thank you very much for your powerful voice and what you do every day. LA is home to the largest Native American nations in the entire United States of America, you know, easily close to 500,000. Oftentimes folks think about Wyoming or North Dakota or Oklahoma or Arizona, other states, you know, but a lot of folks don't know that the First Peoples land here and the voice that you have here is so incredibly powerful. Just recently, there was a presentation on Indigenous Day of Native American folks that, not just Native American folks, but the 5 Mayan nations as well, that Councilwoman Eunice Hernandez, you know, brought together. Very powerful. This sort of kind of comes full circle, you know, Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez and uplifting the voices. I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for the powerful, powerful presentation and just the powerful presentation and presence that you all have made here today, which, you know, screams from the top, you know, that this is Native American land, and beyond that, that you belong because this is your home, you know, that we're occupying it collectively as individuals, and forever, this will be your home forever. So with that, thank you very much. Gracias. Yeah.
Councilmember McCosker.
Thank you so much, Councilmember, for this beautiful presentation. Congratulations to our honorees. Thank you for that lovely opening prayer. Very powerful. Thank you. Everything was wonderful. I wanted to, because we moved the date, one of our artists from San Pedro, Rowan Harrison, could not be with us, and he is here through the magic of Facebook. And I want to shout out our artist. He is in New Mexico right now working with some of the pieces. I want to give Rowan a shout out and thank him for being here. And thank you to the community. We really appreciate sharing this with you, and I have loved and enjoyed every part of this ceremony. Thank you.
Councilmember Padilla.
Councilmember Rodriguez, I also want to thank you for bringing this great presentation here, and also to the Department of Cultural Affairs. You know, I really love these things. You'd be surprised how people in my office really enjoy passing them out to the constituents. So thank you for the great work to put this together for the theme of Native American Heritage Month. But I also want to take some time to make sure that I recognize the great work that's being done by some of the members in here today at the federal level, trying to get the Gabrielino Tongva Nation federally recognized. I know that it's been an uphill battle, but it's something that I have very much enjoyed seeing get done, and I wish you the luck in continuing that work so we can make sure that we can claim that on behalf of the San Fernando Valley. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councilmember Rahman to close.
Well, not to close, but just to add my voice to the chorus of voices, thanking you, Councilmember Rodriguez and the Department of Cultural Affairs for bringing this event together and for allowing us an opportunity to recognize the Native American community. I do want to just say that this is the second time in a few months that we've had Indigenous voices in this room, songs, prayers, language, and it feels great to be able to welcome it. And I want to I think, extend on behalf of all of us, this space is your space, and I'm just grateful that you're willing to come here and share the history and the present day of all that you are and all that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Rahman and colleagues, for all of your remarks. And I want to thank you all for supporting the various motions that have been introduced that intentionally work to create that space, to give that voice and that presence and recognition here in local government. And I look forward to the history being passed on to future generations through the dedication of the 2 young voices that will be appointed now to serve on the Olivia Mitchell Youth Council, representing the voices of the Native American Indian Commission from the city and county. So thank you all so much for your presence here today, for helping us kick off this celebration this month, but for keeping us honest in remembering our real history each and every day. Thank you so much. Happy Native American Heritage Month.
Thank you so much. Another big, big round of applause to our Native American family and Councilwoman Rodriguez. As we prepare for the next presentation, which will be led by Councilmember Rahman, I want to give the floor to Council President Emeritus Krikorian for a special introduction.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Members, as all of you know, Los Angeles has a very special relationship with France.
Pardon me, Mr. Krikorian.
Yeah.
If folks can be as quiet as possible as we're leaving, because we're still trying to conduct business in the chamber. Thank you so much. Mr. Krikorian.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. France is the 5th largest foreign direct investor in the United States, the 10th largest purchaser of U.S. goods in the world, and of course, California and Los Angeles has a disproportionate share of both of those. We have a 60-year relationship with our sister city of Bordeaux. And of course, through the Olympic process, our competing bids, which became joint bids for the Olympics, and then the whole process that we've done together for Olympic preparation for the Paris Olympics, which many of us had an opportunity to really celebrate and enjoy. So this is a very special relationship, and I'm pleased to be able to introduce to all of you the new Consul General of France, who has now been here for 4 weeks, Consul General Adrien Friere. Consul General.
Mr. Chairman, esteemed council members, I am humbled to be here today. I only took office 4 weeks ago, so you don't know me yet. But I'm sure this will change rapidly. I come from a family and from a country that knows the importance of history. I come from a family and from a country that know the importance of friendship. And I know very well that there is no deeper friendship than the ones that unites the United States of America and France. Especially this year, that marks the 80th anniversary of the D-Day, when in June 1944, thousands of American soldiers, heroes, gave their lives to defend the freedom of my country. Without those heroes, the world would be different. My country would be different. And there would most certainly not be a Consul General of France standing here in front of you. So for that, you have my country's eternal gratitude. As such, I am determined to be a relentless advocate and a determined actor to deepening existing cooperations and building new bridges between France and Los Angeles. I was fortunate enough to be in Paris last summer, during the Olympics, and I know how transformative such an event can be. I know it can heal cities, bring communities together, and recreate a sense of pride. And I'm sure that the 2028 Olympics will achieve just that. And I'm sure that this will provide an opportunity for LA to show the world what an amazing city it is. So I'm actively, eagerly looking forward to working with you for the upcoming 4 years. And I can tell there's no other place in the world I'd rather be at this moment. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
Thank you so much. Let's welcome our Consul General, and we look forward to hosting in February the Mayor of Bordeaux and members of the City Council in Bordeaux to celebrate our sister city relationship. And we'll expect to see you back in this chamber next February. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Mr. Krikorian. Councilmember Rahman.
Thank you. Hello? Okay. Thank you all so much for allowing me a chance. We're actually today saying goodbye to a piece of LA housing history. We are saying goodbye to two incredible leaders who retired over these past few weeks, actually, and whose expertise and guidance I know I will certainly miss, and I know for so many of you who worked with both of them, you will all miss. We start with a farewell to Ann Sewell, who just stepped down as the general manager of the Los Angeles Housing Department. Ann came to us after a very long career, working on behalf of Angelenos and really fighting for housing. And now she is embarking on a well-deserved retirement. As head of the housing department over the last 4 years, she played a critical role in leading the city through many challenges. I don't think you imagined when you stepped up to do this work that you would be leading the department through the COVID-19 pandemic, where this council embarked on one of the most ambitious stabilization programs in the history of not just this city, but of this entire country. And Ann shepherded the department through that work, and it was monumental work. It was monumental work. Ann's relentless emphasis on the production and preservation of affordable housing has resulted in our city achieving numerous milestones, including the completion of 130 Proposition HHH projects, delivering 12,000 units for Angelenos experiencing homelessness, securing 400, yes, let's, absolutely. Securing nearly $500 million through the Affordable Housing and Sustainable Communities Program, which has resulted in 4,300 new units and $150 million in infrastructure improvements. Under Ann's leadership, the City of Los Angeles enacted and LAHD implemented robust pandemic-era tenant protections, some of the most robust in the nation. And I know I was very lucky to have worked closely with her on that effort. Those had started before I began in my work here, but my staff, myself, and her staff and her leadership were crucial in moving those forward. Their work helped us to provide $1.6 billion, $1.6 billion in emergency rental assistance to the city's renters and landlords. It implemented significantly expanded citywide tenant protection ordinances, including the Just Cause for Eviction Ordinance, which expanded renter protections to an additional 400,000 households, and established and now expanded and continued with ULA funding the Eviction Defense Program, a singularly new achievement for this city, which has now fed into the creation of our Right to Counsel program. Are you impressed yet? Because I am. And finally, under her tenure, Ann also proudly oversaw the unveiling of LAHD's 1,000th accessible housing unit just this year. I think we are at a time when housing has become absolutely central to this city and the work that it does. I have been so proud to have been able to partner with her on her vision of what the city's role in providing housing has been and could be for the future. And as kind of a parting piece of wisdom to all of us, she joined her leadership team with us at the Housing and Homelessness Committee just on Wednesday to talk to us about how much more lies ahead. And I think, Anne, what you have done is to light the pathway for us in what you've done already. And now what we will have to do is follow your lead, continue your work, expand your work, ensure that we actually build the systems that we need in Los Angeles to see through your vision of a city that can house every single resident with safety and with dignity. So thank you so much, Ann Sewell. And now I want to turn it over to Tricia Keene, our current executive officer and acting general manager of the Housing Department.
Thank you. It seems like a lifetime ago that our country was also on the verge of change, and then the one word that kept springing forth, either as a dream or a promise, was hope. Hope that long-entrenched problems could be solved and long-standing mindsets could be changed. Hope that progress would be made. And in 2016, Measure HHH was adopted, and you'll hear a lot about Measure HHH when you hear a lot about Ann Sewell. But it was adopted with the hope of changing how we funded the production of supportive housing, and it did. We built more units than planned, for less money per unit than assumed, and faster than intended. In 2022, Measure ULA doubled down on that collective hope and commitment to investing in solutions to our affordable housing and homelessness crisis. And all along the way, Ann Sewell was there. She was there pushing HHH from the side of advocacy, helping to get it adopted. She was there helping to make sure ULA would get implemented in a way that would get results by housing people and by keeping people housed. She's been around the affordable housing world for, well, let's just say a long time now. And that whole time, she has been there, sometimes quietly and sometimes not so quietly, pushing for meaningful change and making measurable progress. Anyone who has worked with Ann over the years and the various ways that she has served the affordable housing community knows that she has a steady way of helping everyone around her get results. She doesn't listen to the no, we can't kind of answer, and instead talks about what it would take. She has been a mentor, a leader, and a cheerleader to so many in the housing universe that they'll freely tell you she's the housing fairy godmother. But her powers don't involve waving a magic wand. They involve sharpening a pencil to figure out how to make a project work and calling the question when it won't. And always, always opening doors and paving a pathway for those around her to do their best work and find opportunities for growth. But for anyone who knows Ann and has benefited from her presence and leadership in meetings, on boards, and in any conversation where critical housing policy is at stake, they know that perhaps the most critical contribution she has made is her seemingly unending well of only the best dad jokes. So as a tribute befitting Ann Sewell, I leave you with my favorite dad joke. What did the 0 say to the 8? Nice belt.
And now let's welcome to the podium the fairy godmother of housing herself, Ann Sewell.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is lovely and humbling, and I'm very grateful. And I was going to cover many accomplishments that the department had done and that, frankly, you, the council, had done during this time. But Councilwoman Rahman already went through all of them, so I'm just going to hit the high points. I joined the department in July of 2020. I agreed to come to the department in May of 2020, right around the time we were all figuring out how to sneak back to the offices and get our work chairs and take them home with us. And the first thing I did was call every one of the council members, those of you who were on the council at the time, and ask the question, you know, what should the department start doing, stop doing, do more of? And the answers were really great and illuminating. And so there was, of course, everybody's complaining that HHH is going nowhere, and could you do something about that? Because if it actually is going somewhere, we need to up our comms game, and if it isn't, you need to make it go somewhere. So that was goal number one. Goal number 2 was what, frankly, most of the council members didn't identify, but certainly the CAO did, the existential financial threat of the accessibility lawsuit settlement that the council and mayor had entered into that was that we had not done anything to comply with in 4 years and was threatening us with sanctions every day. And thank goodness for the work of Tricia Keene and Doug Swoger and Jorge Alentar and others who now, as the councilwoman said, we've done 1,000 units. We have great relationships with the plaintiffs in that case, and we have learned so much about disability and what it takes to make this housing work for people who could not otherwise have a home because of that. And then, of course, there was the COVID response. And I have to admit, the first time I heard from Ana Ortega that we were going to do a huge, emergency rental assistance program, I said, couldn't HACLA do it? But no, because really, this council wanted to do it, and through 4 rounds of emergency rental assistance program, both on our own and with the state, we spent over $1.5 billion and helped thousands of Angelenos stay housed, and also expanded eviction defense and tenant protections far beyond what had been done before. And then the fourth thing that was really interesting, that just I will leave you with this, was one of the council members, I think, said, we call that place, meaning HCID, now LAHD, the House of No. And if you could do something about that, that would be great. And so I came back and thought, we probably need to up our customer service game and really think about this. And after 2 weeks, I said to the leadership team, it's not a problem that we are the House of No. It's the problem that we are the House of No answer. So instead, let's be the House of Yes and, or the House of Heck No. But a fast, sure answer will be better than no answer at all. And I think we've done a really good job in trying to get to that. I think the staff appreciates it. I'm not always sure that the council office does. And I have shared this thought with the new incoming general manager, so hopefully you'll have that opportunity to talk with her about it. I have been so blessed to have a great executive team, starting with Tricia Keene, who agreed to come over when I told her that the only thing I was scared about on this plate was the accessibility lawsuit, and she said, no worries, we can do this. And then Ana Ortega from our Rent and Code Board, who, with Marcella DeShirley and others, pushed the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. Daniel Wynn, who has pushed all of the HHH production. We do have 12,000 HHH units. We have 14,000 units for people experiencing homelessness with city money and HHH, and 8,000 of them are already in occupancy. So just that has been something that the council has been behind all along the way, and I am so appreciative of that. And then, of course, my own team, Teddy Lou, Patricia Gisbert, our communications people who've been great, Sharon Sando and her team, and Greg Good, who has opened my eyes as to what constant communication with the council can really achieve for a department, and I really appreciate that. So I am not exaggerating when I say that almost everything that the department has done has started in this room or upstairs on the fourth floor. When we started HHH, there are many origin stories to it, but my origin story was a meeting with the then chair of the budget committee, who said to me and some other advocates, hey, I feel you, we want to do more about homelessness, but we'd have to go to the voters. And as we walked out of the room, somebody said to me, I was at a foundation at the time, somebody said to me, polling's cheap. And that really set off what became, a joint thing with the advocates and the council and the mayor. And here we are now and have achieved a whole bunch. And then ULA follows on the heels of that learning. The voters are with us on this, and we are so grateful for that. So thank you for everything that you have done for the department. Thank you for your candor and your honesty with me and support. And I just really I'm not going anywhere. I'm still in the city of LA. I'm still a proud resident of CD5, so feel free to ask my opinion whenever you want it, and feel free to be thankful that you don't have to hear it if you don't for at least a year. So thank you so much. I wish you all the best.
And I don't know if, yeah.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Rahman. We have a few members on the queue, beginning with Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you so much. And, you know, you have been a real pleasure to work with, and your entire team. And I know Tricia is always the one that's kind of on our front go-to. But thank you for every, you know, it's been tough. It's been tough, and doing it without a place for you all to convene on your own. You know, unfortunately, our housing department is unhoused. But you know, I really appreciate your good humor and just your ability to help us get to a better place when it comes to meeting all of these very challenging, you know, housing needs that we have in the city of Los Angeles. You've been an incredible steward for your team, and just a steady force. So thank you for that, and during some pretty volatile times. So thank you so much for your years of service, for your collaboration, and wishing you all the very best for years and years to come. Thank you for everything you've done for our city.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Blumenfield.
Great, thank you. And this is a tough day to see you moving forward. You've been an incredible, as my colleague mentioned, steady hand, and institutional knowledge. Like that is going to hurt all of us. When I'm not saying don't leave, but it is going to hurt us because you have incredible institutional knowledge, and you've always been a pleasure to work with, and a friend, and someone who had that expertise. And you've had to deal with not only a remarkable crisis, but you know, one that came to your doorstep. It's something nobody should have to deal with, especially as no elected official should have to deal with it, but certainly no staff member or member of the city should have to have people protesting and picketing at their house. But you dealt with some of that nightmare stuff, and you dealt with it well, because you always kept your North Star, which is, how do we make our city better? How do we get that housing? And I'm very grateful to you and all that you've done and continue to do. And you know, I know you say be careful what you offer. You said we're going to still be able to call you, and we may very well be doing that. So, so thank you very much, and I wish you good luck and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Krikorian.
Thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations on an extraordinary career, an extraordinary legacy that you leave behind, the leadership that you've shown to this department, and the mentorship that you've given to so many others in this department, and congratulations also on your retirement. You know, we've all lived through extraordinary times, and Los Angeles already faced such challenges in the housing market, even in normal times. And then to have COVID on top of that, and all the other things that we've gone through in recent years, and to have you at the helm, to have to deal with all those crises, that was a lot to ask of any human being. And so along with those challenges came some opportunities as well, and the opportunities were not so easy to handle either. Having this enormous infusion of federal housing assistance coming in, that sounds like a good thing, but somebody has to manage that, and somebody has to figure out, how do we move that through in an effective way quickly in response to the emergency that's before us. And you were able to figure out ways to do that. HHH and ULA and JJJ, all, you know, really good positive steps forward, but all game changers as well, all things that changed the way governance had to be done in housing policy, and you were able to manage us all through that. And I think, as Mr. Blumenfield just alluded, one of the things I appreciated most always in dealing with you is you were able to be a problem-solving leader who could figure out how to get us to that answer, whether it's yes or no, and ideally get to yes. But yes or no is better than nothing at all, and you were able to always help me and my team in that way in our office. But you were also always willing, and this is a really important trait for any general manager to have, you were willing to speak truth to power. And you were willing to tell us when we were full of it. And you were willing to say, no, I'm sorry, you can't do that. No, I'm sorry, you may really want to do that, but sorry, it's against the law. You can't. Or sorry, there's no money to do that. Or sorry, your brilliant idea, could be done, you could get so much more bang for the buck with that money by doing these other things. You were willing to do that. And you were also willing to do that to people with bullhorns screaming through your bedroom window. And as Bob said, that should never be a part of what any public servant has to endure. And yet you did it. We get elected. You didn't get elected. We have to stand for election. It's one thing when we're targeted that way. But for somebody who's just showing up every day trying to do the best job that she can for the people of Los Angeles, to be subjected to that is outrageous. But you did it, and you kept your eye on the ball, and you kept doing the work. And for that, I'm grateful to you, and I want you to know how much of a legacy you leave. As you leave this building physically, there's still going to be a lot of Ann Sewell around here, and there certainly is going to be in the work that you've done for the people of the city of Los Angeles. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mr. De Leon.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I don't know if Councilmember Palpa-Kokorian was describing me, at the end of, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. You're trying to push the envelope too far. But I want to say this, is that I want to recognize you for your strong advocacy, because you've always carried yourself in a very elegant, a very dignified manner. Now, I don't think it's a big secret. We've had our differences, in the way we've looked at things when it comes to financing and a whole variety of issues. But I've always harbored a tremendous amount of respect for you, as well as your team. I know that we've all been on the same page, and we care deeply of producing the most affordable housing units for both our unhoused and low-income families as quickly and as financially feasible as possible. But even among controversial issues, you've always, you've carried yourself with elegance, in a manner that's dignified. As Paul just mentioned a few moments ago, the screaming, the yelling, the going to your house, it doesn't make a difference if you're on the left or on the right or in between. Elected or appointed, no one deserves that at all whatsoever. Yet you've been so much above the fray. And that's one thing that we have to recognize. The whole nation has a housing crisis, not just LA. It's especially acute here because the chasm between the have and have-nots. So you navigating along with your staff, the ability to draw down dollars, whether it be state dollars, whether it be federal dollars, whether it be ballot initiatives to generate a stream of revenue in perpetuity, to build as many roofs as possible. It is a major accomplishment, and I think that collectively you will be missed, greatly, of all the knowledge, all the experience that you have brought to this issue. So I just want to say, Ann, thank you very much for your incredible commitment to the city of LA, to those who have little or no voice, that need housing. When I was growing up, the youngest child, with a single immigrant mother, in my high school years, we lived in a basement. We rented a room in a basement that was converted into several rooms, like a single room only, SRO, but in the basement of a single family house. That was in high school, in the city, not in a rural area. And that's, we needed affordable housing, and we never got access to affordable housing because it was so bureaucratic. It was so long, the lines. There was just no resources. We were just waiting and waiting and waiting, and it was never accessible. So the role that you've played historically in the city of LA is such a critical role. We have LAPD chief, we have LA Fire Department chief, we have the various general managers, but the housing department, is just as important, if not even more important, especially in today's day and age. So from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of my staff, CD14, on behalf of my constituents who benefited greatly from your leadership and your wisdom and experience. Wish you nothing but the best. God bless you, Ann, and I hope that your next years are really fulfilled with a lot of joy and enjoyment with your friends, your close loved ones, and your family. Felicidades. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, and I want to join in the recognition of our leader around housing, Ann Sewell. I knew you before you played this role, and what struck me today as I listened to the members and I reflected on the time that you've been with the city and the time before you were with the city is we often talk about our local heroes, our firefighters, our police, and one thing we say about them is they're special because when there's danger and most of us would run away, they run towards the danger. And that's how I think about you. You run towards the danger. We were already in a housing crisis. It had already become clear HHH was going to take longer to fix the problem than anybody thought when we passed HHH. Homelessness and encampments were through the roof. We were already in the phase where we knew COVID-19 was going to be with us for a minute and be a major interruption. And we also knew this business of protesters coming to people's houses, that had already started. And you raised your hand and said, yes, I want to go help fix that on behalf of the people of Los Angeles. And so for that, you are indeed a hero and will always be remembered as in this city as such. So thank you so much for your service. And we look forward to everything that you will do in the future. Ms. Rahman.
Thank you all for your words. I think it speaks to the extent to which Ann's work has permeated every neighborhood in this city and every office in this building. So once again, I just want to thank Ann for her years of service during one of LA's most contentious periods related to renting and living here in this city and leading the housing department through that time, spending more dollars than I think we've ever had here on those issues carefully, thoughtfully. Also, I just want to say that I think we're going to honor her with a resolution today that we've all signed, but I also think that we should look to HHH, which many of us in this building actually were the proponents of, and then it was maligned in the public eye for a long time. And go back and look at the results of that. It may have taken longer, but the costs of construction are comparable to private construction in some cases, in many of the buildings. And I just want to make sure that we understand truly the record of what we did there, learn from the mistakes and fix it, but also to recognize what we did there. It was monumental, and we have Ann to thank for much of that. So thank you all so much, and happy retirement, Ann. Get in closer.
Down?
Oh. Thank you.
It's not too high, I'm too short.
I know. So am I.
Thank you.
Thank you. This was great.
Really appreciate this.
Thank you. I'm going to stay up here for our next presentation as we actually say goodbye to another stalwart of the housing ecosystem here in the city of Los Angeles. And I'll welcome all our friends from HACLA here. Yes. You want to have some staff members come in? Yes, great, wonderful. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our, to Doug Guthrie. Welcome and goodbye to Doug Guthrie, someone who has been with the city actually even longer than Ann Sewell, but because of the nature of HACLA, the Housing Authority, and where it sits in our city's ecosystem of departments and agencies, many of you may not have had the chance to engage with him like I did through my chairmanship of the Housing and Homelessness Committee. I want to tell you a little bit more about Doug's history and his work with the city, and then give you an opportunity to say a few words as well. Doug was a national housing leader and a guiding force for increasing housing opportunities for Angelenos, and has really been central to the work around affordable housing right here. Despite being born and raised in the Midwest, his years of service to the city of Los Angeles, I think at this point, make him a true Angelino through and through. He began his professional career in public service working for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, where he specialized in model cities, urban renewal, and the community development block grant programs. He served as president of the National Equity Fund, the nation's largest source of equity financing for low and moderate income housing, where he actually initiated the tax credit funding program for affordable housing, which resulted in the development of over 28,000 affordable housing units with real estate assets valued in excess of $3 billion. And today is considered one of the most successful funding tools in the U.S. to advance affordable housing goals, and really led by Mr. Doug Guthrie. In 2010, during a time of real challenges for the city on many of these issues, he joined the city family, becoming general manager of the housing department, but a few short years later was appointed as president and CEO of the Housing Authority during a time of real transition. And those of you who were here at that time or were familiar with the city's work at that time know that Doug stepping in at that time with his wealth of experience as someone we could trust at a moment when the Housing Authority was really struggling with the issue of trust, I can't emphasize how important his coming into the organization was at that moment and helped to stabilize a major agency in the city for continued and future work. Doug has been serving at HACLA for a number of years, and on a personal note, and there are many achievements there at HACLA over that time, but I wanted to talk today about my personal kind of understanding of his impact there. First of all, the culture that he has established in that organization. HACLA leadership never says no. They talk to us, they provide data, they work to create results. When I asked them to start coming into the housing committee meetings, because they're part of the housing and homelessness ecosystem, an essential part, and they hadn't been coming regularly before, they said yes. When I asked them to ensure that 4,000 housing vouchers would be matched to residents here in the city of Los Angeles who are experiencing homelessness, that we wouldn't give a single voucher back to the federal government that were given to us during COVID, they said yes, they provided weekly updates, and they delivered. And because of that, that is an essential reason why we were able to see a reduction in street homelessness for the first time in so many years, and a substantive reduction, more than 10%. It's thanks to their work. They were an integral part of that, not reported in the press, not seen to the public, but very much seen and appreciated by those of us here in the city who work on these issues. Additionally, HACLA has also said yes to new programs. They've taken on HomeKey with gusto, maybe not gusto, but with willingness and with expertise and with care, and grown the program. They have taken on new innovative forms of the city actually adding to its public housing stock. And they've said yes, even when other city departments have said no. So for all that, we have Doug to thank for his guidance and leadership, and for his gentle and kind approach to all of us who ask him questions rooted in naivete about the problems that he's been dealing with for a long time, and he patiently explains to us how to move forward. So thank you, Doug, for being a mentor. Thank you for your years of work, and thank you for your service to the city of Los Angeles, which has helped us through an incredibly, incredibly important moment in our city's history. The city will miss you dearly. Anyone else want to speak, or do you want to speak right away? Just to you? Okay, all right.
Okay.
And we welcome Doug Guthrie to the podium.
Thank you, Council Member. Thank you for that nice introduction. It's good to be back in front of the City Council here, like I used to do on a regular basis when I was the General Manager of the LA Housing Department. And the one thing that you did say, Council Member, I doubt that many people know what the Model Cities program was. Program run by HUD, but it was terminated in 1973, so that gives you some idea of how long I have been in this field. I didn't know that. Well, I don't tell too many people that. And I've always enjoyed it, and I saw After all my time primarily in Chicago, working out of Chicago, an opportunity to come to Los Angeles, I couldn't turn it down. When Mayor Villaraigosa was there and they were looking for a new general manager and they selected me. So I really look forward to the challenge of coming out here and tackling the affordable housing issues out here. I was familiar with LA and familiar with California through the work in the National Equity Fund, and I had an office out here for the Equity Fund as well. But I hadn't been out here long when things weren't not going very well for the Housing Authority on a number of fronts, and I think the council, the mayor, everybody had lost confidence in the Housing Authority, and the Housing Authority had lost credibility. And a Housing Authority is a critical player here in the city and a critical partner, and not always a good partner at the time. So I was sent over there on an interim basis. I expected it to stay interim when I got there, but much to my surprise, I hadn't been there long, and I found such a great staff at the Housing Authority, a really committed staff up and down the line, committed to the mission, wanted to make things right. They weren't the cause of the problem, and I didn't want to see them be the victim of the problems at the time. And so I decided I wanted to do this for a longer term. And I ended up being at the Housing Authority again unexpectedly, but there for 12 and a half years before I recently stepped down. And for those of you that have worked in the field of public housing, that's an eternity. I think New York, Chicago, all the other big cities will go through a new director once every 2 or 3 years, if they lasted that long. And so I was really surprised, and through 3 different mayors, I not only lasted that long, but we put together, we took the staff that we had there, and we put together a really good senior leadership team, most of whom are with us here today that are up here, that they're the ones that are responsible for all the day-to-day accomplishments at HACLA, not me. I feel like an orchestra director. You know, they're all the experts, and I just try to keep things moving in the right direction. And they've just been phenomenal. And so any successes that we can claim are really due to the people standing behind me right now, as well as the dedicated staff at HACLA. And so I really would like to thank them. Thank you for coming in today and standing with me. That's very nice of you. Thank you to the City Council for recognizing the work that's been done in this field, especially Councilmember Rahman. From day one, we worked together, right? And we've taken on the difficult developments as well. I've also been fortunate to have a good board of commissioners. That's not always the case. You have to have good relationships with the board, just like you have to have good relationships with members of City Council here as well. And I've worked with most of you on individual developments out in your council district. I've always enjoyed that. I've always enjoyed those challenges. I also want to thank my colleague, Ann Sewell. Maybe Ann already left? No, she's around, but I've known Ann for a long time. She's one of the first persons I met when I moved out to Los Angeles nearly 15 years ago. Always enjoyed working with her, and I think we've probably had the best relationship between the Housing Authority and the City Housing Department that we've ever had. I think Ann would tell you the same thing. I know Daniel Hyun, who is there that we work with quite a bit, would tell you the same thing. We've always tried to be problem solvers. We actually we provide financing to more permanent supportive housing than anybody in the country, including New York City. We've done not only all the Triple H projects we provided project-based vouchers for. We have well over 200 projects that we provided project-based vouchers for, a program that wasn't really ever done before the homeless crisis, and we took it on in gusto. As the council member said, we had the emergency housing voucher program, a brand new program, brand new resources. We had to hire staff, get it up and running on short order. We experienced a lot of the things that the city experienced, of course, during the COVID crisis. We had to work remotely. We don't get resources from the city, so we had to figure out how to piece together the financing for all of our activities. We took on major redevelopment opportunities at Jordan Downs as a good example that will end up being nearly $1 billion redevelopment by the time we're done. And most everybody said it couldn't be done. Well, I think it's getting done thanks to Jenny Scanlon, her staff, and the whole team. So we took on Project Home Key as a new program. We greatly expanded our acquisition program with resources that we had, that we leveraged. We now have ownership positions in more non-public housing units than we have existing public housing units. And we continue to build on that. So we've got over 7,000 units that we've acquired, most of those since my time there. So very proud of our accomplishments, very proud of our working relationship with the city officials, with the council, and with city departments and the mayor's office. Just very pleased to be here, very pleased to be recognized. It's very nice of all of you to take the time to do that. And so with that, again, I commend my staff because they're the best. They really are the best. Mariela is the one that holds it together, my executive assistant from day one. And of course, my wife, Mary, who's with me here today. Yes, let's give her a round of applause. Yeah, she deserves a round of applause, putting up with me. So once again, thank you very much.
We have a couple speakers on the queue, starting with Councilmember Price of the New Ninth District.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilman Rahman, thank you for bringing Ann and Doug in, the two real angels in our city. Doug, you have just been a real pioneer in certainly providing housing to those who need it most, those who are most vulnerable. I've got two housing projects in my district, of course, but you have been throughout the city making sure that resources are available. And in the last several years, I've been impressed with the way we've been fixing up these properties, painting them, and improving the environment, making sure they're internet accessible. Again, making residents in these communities feel like they are a real part of our city. And so we just want to thank you and your team for providing services and making residents feel that they have a home, they have a place, that they're safe, and that we care about them. But congratulations to you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Councilmember McCosker.
Thank you so much, council member, for bringing Doug in and his leadership team. I know, Doug, that you do a lot more, and your leadership team does a lot more than the developments, but as you know, the developments are such an integral, and the residents in our developments are such an integral and important part of my community. In the 1-5, we have 5 developments of your nearly 6,000 units of public housing. Almost half of that is in the 1-5. And we've really, the whole message of the 1-5 is to make sure that our residents and the developments are part of our community. This morning I was at Jordan Downs for a Thanksgiving giveaway, and your racks and the leadership team that you have there is so excellent. And I just want to thank you for every time I pick up the phone. Jenny knows how often I do that. Pick up the phone and we talk about issues, whether it's at Nickerson's or Rancho San Pedro or Jordan, Gonzac, that Imperial, now that I said them all. I can't leave anybody out. That we make sure that we have a very fulsome, healthy, happy, relationship in the communities. And so I agree with you. You have a great leadership team. That's a sign of a good leader.
That's right.
And the leadership team is what implements, all of the things that we need to do. And I know we always need to do more. And I sense that from your team, that we need to do more. And just one little thing, and it's not a little thing, it's one big thing, but it's one example. Over and over and over again, we've heard from the Watts community about lead in the water. And I want to thank you for leaning in and lending the expertise of your team to make sure that we have done all of that testing throughout the developments, and also lend your leadership to, we're going to be going through the community starting tomorrow, knocking on doors in the larger community, in our neighbors next to the developments, our single-family homes and our apartment buildings. And it is so critical that we let folks know that whether you're in a single-family home or whether you're in a development, you're part of our community, and every single person deserves, clean water and safe community and athletic facilities and opportunities to thrive. And that's really what HACLA is all about. So thank you for your career, for lending your expertise to us. Thank you to the advice you're going to give to your leadership team as we move forward, so we keep it up. And congratulations on a great career.
Thank you so much, Mr. McCosker. And Mr. Guthrie, I'm sure there are many things that you are far more proud of than this, but it's very special to me. You are the only general manager in the city of Los Angeles with whom I have attended a Kendrick Lamar concert. So thank you for that. And the TDE concert in Jordan Downs is coming up in a couple of weeks. So thank you for that. Councilmember Rahman.
Thank you all so much for your remarks. Thank you, Doug, for your years of service. And thank you all for your indulgence as we took a moment to recognize so many years that you have given to this city during a time when we had stopped building public housing in this country. And then we did it again through different pathways. And it was only because of your willingness to do that, to innovate in the ways that we needed, that we've been able to do that. So thank you, Doug. And we look forward to continuing to call you for advice in these retirement years. And thank you, Mary, for giving him to us for so long. Thank you all. And the leadership team, if you want to squeeze in. I'm sorry about all the nastiness.
You are too.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
All right. Councilmember Blumenfield.
We're doing Winnetka first, and then we're going to do Claw after that. All right. Colleagues, I am joined here today by some incredible members of the Winnetka Neighborhood Council. You know, our neighborhood council system is truly amazing. It's been in place now, what, a quarter century, 25 years. We have communities all over our city that are offering advice and are helping make our city work. And those neighborhood councils are driven by volunteers who care about our community. And every once in a while, we got to bring them up and recognize them because they truly make this city great. And the folks behind me today are from the Winnetka Neighborhood Council. And especially in honor of the Native American heritage, we should say Winnetka is, the Native American word means beautiful land. And Winnetka certainly is a beautiful land. It is a place with an incredible storied history. It goes back over 100 years. Just a couple years ago, we celebrated the 100-year anniversary of Winnetka. Was a fun event. It's an area that was at one point was known for being a poultry farm with eggs and chickens. And Eric dressed up like a chicken at the Halloween event recently, and in honor of that heritage. But it's a place some of you probably have never heard of. Although if you went to the annual roast a couple of years ago when I was being roasted, and Paula Poundstone basically spent the whole roast making fun of the name Winnetka. She couldn't pronounce it and was saying, "Who's this council member representing Winnetka?" And then she called it all sorts of names. But it's a real place with real people who do amazing things. And the other thing is, I mean, in relatively speaking, in Los Angeles, it's a small community, but it's about 50,000 people. And when you think about that in terms of the country, do you know that 50,000 people, if you took all cities in the country, it would be in the top 4% of populations of cities in America. That means what we call a small community here in Los Angeles, Winnetka, 50,000 people, is bigger in population than 96% of the cities in America. I mean, that gives you a sense of the scale that we live in here in Los Angeles. Is pretty amazing. But it's a city, it's a community. I mean, the income is pretty much about the average in the city, but the people are nothing but average. The people who are from Winnetka are amazing, and they make amazing things happen. It's an area, like many others, I mean, they have what, like 6 public schools, 4 private schools. It has all of those things. We have several parks and recreation centers. But what makes it really special is the people. And I'm proud that I have some of those people and some of the people who really make it special here with me today to talk a little bit about the Neighborhood Council and what they do. We have Miran Kalajian, the president, Eric Lace, the vice president, Jonathan Vickberg, public safety chair, Anthony Zepeda, a board member. We also have David Ubersack, Samantha Ludwig, Peggy White, who are also members of this amazing board. And so I'm going to stop for a moment. I'm going to let the president of this neighborhood council say a few words about the great work that they do. So, Miran.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all. As you may know, my name is Miran Kalajian, President of the Winnetka Neighborhood Council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. First, I want to commend my councilman Bob Bloomfield for his unwavering commitment to our Winnetka neighborhood. Thanks in large part to his efforts, Winnetka has become a safer, cleaner, and thriving community. Councilman Bloomfield helped bring robotics, STEM, and advanced education programs to Winnetka schools. His efforts help create meaningful opportunities for our children. After all, our children are the bridge to a bright and fruitful future. I also want to thank Empower LA for helping to improve communication channels and supporting our neighborhood council. Through our partnership with Empower LA, our neighborhood council has gained the trust of the people of the Winnetka. One could say that our partnership with Empower LA has empowered us to make successful contribution to our community. Through the Empower LA and my councilman, these contributions include our popular CERT training program, our free tree planting, homeless connect days, community cleanups, and the Stop the Bleed training. This year, we will have our first annual winter dance on December 14th at the Winnetka Recreation Center. The dance will be open to the entire community and to stakeholders. Our neighborhood council is a fantastic example of what Los Angeles can achieve when residents, neighborhood councils, and city council offices work together to improve and serve the community. Thank you again to Councilman Bob Bloomfield for years of service to the city of Los Angeles and the people of Winnetka. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
This is proof to Paul Poundstone that Winnetka really does exist. All right. And toward that end, I have a great, let me show you a certificate for you guys. We're going to take the photo here. So I would hope that you would please accept this as a token of appreciation from the entire city, that signed by the mayor and all the council members of our appreciation for this neighborhood council.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Blumenfield, and another round of applause for the great neighborhood of Winnetka, of the San Fernando Valley.
And then I'll meet you guys in the back. I've got one more presentation. We'll do some photos. Aaron, I'll take you to the back. You can do it now or later, but after. Thanks. No problem. All right. I have one more presentation. If I could ask all the folks from CLAW to come join me. And Councilwoman Rahman. Councilwoman Rahman's special day today. All right, so as folks are getting up here, we have a big group because it's a big organization that does amazing work that we're honoring. So, colleagues, it is a great honor to stand before you today as we come together to celebrate not just an organization, but really a force of nature. A group that has spent the last decade fighting to preserve the delicate balance between urban development and the natural world here in Los Angeles. It is an honor to introduce and pay tribute to the Citizens for Los Angeles Wildlife, otherwise known as CLAW, on their 10th anniversary. And before I say anything else, I want to cue the video. We have a 10th anniversary video, quick video to show everybody. Wow, what a powerful reminder of the world that we live in, that we are in nature. While we may be in this urban environment, nature is all around us. So for 10 years, CLAW has been a beacon of hope for our city's wildlife and our natural spaces. Their mission is as bold as it is vital: to protect, restore, and educate about habitats and wildlife that define us here in Los Angeles. But CLAW is more than an organization. It is really a movement that has united people, communities, inspired our youth, created real tangible change in our environment. Through their collaboration with local associations and conservation authorities, CLAW helped preserve 17 acres in Laurel Canyon, an incredible sanctuary for wildlife right here in the heart of our city. This is one of the many ways that they stand for the creatures, all of the creatures who call Los Angeles home. CLAW has been a powerful advocate, giving voice to the wildlife who can't speak for themselves. Their efforts to reduce rodenticide use in Los Angeles parks, driven by their commitment to protecting some of our apex predators like mountain lions and bobcats, is a prime example of their unwavering dedication to creating harmony between humans and nature. They've also championed wildlife corridors, recognizing that animals need safe passages to navigate our urban landscapes. Their advocacy has not just been forward-thinking, it has been essential. Perhaps what sets CLAW apart from most of its commitment what sets them apart is really its commitment to education and empowerment. Through various workshops, presentations, and campaigns, they've inspired thousands of Angelinos to take action. From students learning about biodiversity to residents understanding the importance of sustainable practice, their work reminds us that conservation is a collective effort. We need to do it individually, yes, but collectively as well. As we celebrate 10 years of their work, we're not just reflecting on the past, we're looking to the future. And if their first decade is any indication, the next will be filled with even greater achievements. But they can't do it alone. This is where we come in. Let's use today to not only honor their success, but to pledge our continued support for their mission. Because I'm excited about what this city of Los Angeles can look like and be like with having advocates like those who are here with CLAW here today. So next I want to call up my colleague, Councilwoman Rahman, who is also very familiar with CLAW and has worked closely with them. Councilwoman Rahman.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Blumenfield, in leading this presentation, in recognizing CLAW today. You took most of what I had to say in terms of the work that they've done over the last decade here. But I just want to say that this group has been really personal guides for so many of my staff members in understanding the legacy of the district that I am so lucky to represent. Understanding the interfaces between our residential neighborhoods and those corridors where wildlife are moving through with regularity, helping us to see that they are indeed there, even though they may not always be visible to all of us. I want to thank Allison, the city's own Allison. She's been here for so long, Tony Tucci, Sean Silver, who have worked with us day to day to understand the impacts of our local planning policies on the incredible natural heritage that we have here in the city of Los Angeles. I am also really proud that we've had the opportunity to support CLAW, including in the purchase of the Laurel Springs land and helping in its restoration and helping it eventually become a beautiful public space for all of Los Angeles. Because of CLAW's work, Los Angeles policies, Los Angeles offices have become champions of biodiversity, wildlife conservation, and environmental stewardship. And the kind of the unique geographic topography that we have here, I don't know of many other cities that have this close of a relationship with nature the way that Los Angeles does. We are nestled in it, we are nestled next to it, and CLAW allows us through their work to never forget who is there and to ensure that we're doing everything in our city's power to protect who is out there besides the many humans that populate this city. And I hope that we can continue to learn from you, to work alongside you, and to lift up your work and to enshrine it in how we govern this city and to enshrine it in how we think about that wildlife urban interface that is really so important for us as we move forward into an era of climate change and rapid change in all of these factors. So thank you, CLAW. Thank you, Councilmember Blumenfield, for giving me an opportunity to stand with you and lift up their work. And thank you to all of you who give so tirelessly of your time to this city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Rahman. The next speaker is someone who is no stranger to this chamber, was a member of this esteemed body for many years, was termed out, but he's found a way to claw back in through days like this. Sorry for the pun. None other than someone who's such a champion for animal welfare. Let's hear and give it up for Paul Koretz.
Well, thank you, Bob, for recognizing this critical organization. I've been involved from the beginning. It really sort of started when we were looking at a development about 13 years ago in Laurel Canyon when I represented it. And a group who became the leadership of CLAW came to me and said, well, this development will block wildlife connectivity, and it really should be a wildlife corridor. And that was when I became more aware of the issue. And eventually, about 10 years ago, CLAW became a formal organization, and we started working on creating wildlife corridors in the city of Los Angeles. It's been a bumpy road and a difficult process, but I understand sometime in the hopefully near future that ordinance is finally going to pass. It's created an impact beyond this area. Wildlife connectivity has been widely recognized, especially in Southern California. And so we've had it, including the freeway crossing and wildlife connectivity in Ventura and other places. Ironically, one of the missing pieces is still the city of Los Angeles. But CLAW has also been very involved in biodiversity. The city we discovered is one of the great hotspots, biodiversity hotspots in the city. So there are many unique species that are only in Los Angeles. And so we began to work on that, inspired by CLAW. And lastly, their work with rodenticides. We've gotten rid of the most dangerous rodenticides, which are found in most wildlife. And so rather than killing off rodents, we're killing off all of their predators. And CLAW has helped us work in the opposite direction, reducing rodenticides and putting up barn owl boxes in various areas to bring back the predators rather than to poison the rats and all the surrounding species. So they've done amazing work. I'm really excited that they've been recognized, and thank you, former colleagues, for having done so.
Thank you, Councilmember Koretz. And next, we're going to hear from the co-founders of CLAW, Allison Simmert, who of course we all know from SHRED and from being in this great institution, and Tony Tucci. So if I could have the two of you come on up.
Hello, CLAW supporters and city family, and it means so much to have our council members here to recognize CLAW. And of course, not only one of our original supporters, but my former boss, Paul Koretz. And you know, I was really happy to hear that we were doing this on the same day that we were doing Native American Heritage Month, because we are on indigenous Tongva Gabrieli land. And we started CLAW with the philosophy that is shared by the Native Americans, which is we have to look 7 generations into the future. And that when we said citizens for Los Angeles wildlife, it was CLAW, it was a great, easy thing to remember, but it was also that our wildlife brothers and sisters and cousins are also citizens. And we have to look to them. You know, some people know the canary in the coal mine, right? But their well-being tells us how our larger environment's well-being is doing. And when we can keep them healthy, we can keep our larger environment healthy. So when we're taking care of our mountain lions, we're taking care of our mountains, which is cleaning our air, which is cleaning our water, and we're cleaning public health throughout the city. Unfortunately, LA wasn't planned with parks very well. So it's up to us in a park-poor city to make those conservations where we can. And when CLAW was founded, the city really didn't have the tools to do that. Through this wonderful council, we've been able to add the biodiversity expert panel. We've been able to add tree protections. We've been able to add the Climate Emergency Mobilization Office, which didn't come from CLAW, but it was part of making sure that the planning department had ecologists on staff. These are the things we need to do so that we can measure our policies, so that we can look 7 generations ahead and make sure that our children and our children's children and our children's children's children still have mountain lions roaming in these hills, still have bobcat, because climate change is scaring us all. But one last thing I just wanted to say is that Councilmember Blumenfield and Councilmember Koretz brought the great Jane Goodall to City Hall and on her birthday, and I was honored to get to staff her all day and spend the day with her. And council members actually allowed me to bring my then 10-year-old daughter to spend the day with Jane Goodall. And she gave a bunch of incredible speeches, as she is Jane Goodall and is amazing at that. And I finally said to her, how do you keep hope? You have seen the devastation of the rainforest. You have been there a long time. And how do you do it? And she said, because I meet with groups like yours all around the world, saving backyards, saving little spaces. And like a patchwork quilt, I believe we can do this. We have hope that we can save our Earth, but we have to do it together. We're at a tipping point. There is no more time. We need to now invest now, and it'll pay dividends into the future. So today's honor means a lot to us. Thank you. It's 10 years down. We got a ways to go, but we're partners here with the city, so thank you.
Wow, it's an honor to receive this recognition for our years of environmental work, but especially at a time when protecting the environment is now needed more than ever. Going back over about 13 years ago, I was helping to protect a wildlife corridor when I heard a conversation between a certain zoning administrator and a certain planning deputy. They were reversing their support for a corridor. And I heard the zoning administrator say to the deputy, "You know what to do." And they said in unison, "Put a sign up and tell the animals where to go." It was a very bad joke. It was frustrating. But fast forward a number of years, and I'm in attendance at LA Sanitation's Biodiversity Expert Council, where City Planner Connie Pellini presents us the Wildlife Ordinance. In her speech, she notes that over 30 years ago, the Santa Monica Mountains were identified as an area of development opportunity, but today the planning department is viewing the area as important wildlife habitat. What a shift. The pendulum is swung in the right direction, but we can't have the pendulum swing back. We can't go back. Council members, your leadership has been and will be a very important part of our work. But I want to shout out and say thank you to some of our public servants who don't always get the acknowledgement, folks who have helped us accomplish our goals over the past 10 years. That includes Connie Pellini, who is currently on medical leave, and our thoughts and prayers go out to her. Arthi Varma, Shauna Bonston, Claire Bowen, Kevin Keller, Will Lamborn, Mastajori, Andy Schrader, Martin Slagater, John Popach, David Hiron, Elizabeth Ean, Michelle Majid, Mehmet Berker, Andrea Conant, Emma Taylor, Dylan Siddick, Daniel Skolnick, Justin Orenston, Diana Kitching, Jason Douglas, Helen Rotolo, Matt Hale, Aaron Aldower, Caro Torosian, Christine Peters, Rachel Fox, Kat Superfisky, Courtney McCammon, Tracy James, and Officer Juan Ding. Together, our efforts have shown that a city as dynamic and as diverse as Los Angeles can also be a safe haven for wildlife. This recognition is a testament to the power of grassroots advocacy and the countless allies, supporters, and great volunteers, you guys, who have joined us in this journey. Thank you.
Great. Well, we have a token of appreciation for you all. We'll take a photo here, and then we can do some in the back, which is signed by all the members of the council as well as the mayor. It's a beautiful certificate here, and let's take a photo.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Blumenfield. A big round of applause for CLAW, making it possible for us to experience wildlife in an urban context, unlike almost any other city in the world. All right, Mr. City Attorney, Clerk, if we can read the instructions for public comment into the record, and we will begin public comment with public comment in the chamber, and then go to telephones.
Thank
for
you,
this
Mr.
meeting.
President. Thank you, Mr. President. And before we go to public comment, I would like to confirm that council would like all items adopted forthwith today.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you. As indicated on today's agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and then press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute. Let me repeat, call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and then press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute.
So for members of the public who are providing public comment, all of the items on the agenda have been continued or the hearing was held at committee. So the only time that you have to speak is in general public comment. So you would have 1 minute for general public comment. You can speak on any of the items on the agenda or anything else within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. So when you reach the podium or you're on the phone, please just begin talking and the clock will be running for 1 minute. For members of the public calling in, when it's your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will prompt you to press star 6 to unmute yourself. If you don't do so, council staff will prompt you once more. At that point, you really need to unmute yourself right away or we'll move on to the next speaker. Finally, for people dialing in, because of a brief time delay between the live meeting and the broadcast, 2 things are important. First, while you're waiting for your turn to speak, please keep one ear to the phone so you hear in real time when it's your turn to press star 6. Second, if you're listening to the meeting on multiple devices like Channel 35 or YouTube, as soon as it's your turn to speak, please turn down the volume on your other devices right away. Because of the time delay and feedback, it really causes a great deal of confusion if you're listening on multiple devices. And Mr. President, we're ready to begin with public comment in the room.
Can I get Annie, Oakley, Candido, Dan, Spindler, Mike Greenspan, and Ali Lyon? Line up to the side, please.
Okay, so if you please come up to your left side. Please don't come up till your name is called, but it doesn't matter in what order you come once your name is called.
Can we also get Tia, Joe, Melania Gomez, Audit Ale?
Great. Hello, Mr. Gus. The floor is yours.
DanielGus.substack.com. Paul Koretz, he's the fucker who's responsible single-handedly for the chaos at Animal Services. Read the LA Times, Bob. You people sat here and lied to every undocumented person in Los Angeles. On DanielGus.substack.com, I have a column called Sanctuary City Charade, where this city council danced on the back of every undocumented person in Los Angeles, and you said that you're protecting them? You didn't protect them from shit. You didn't tell them that the LAPD is exempt from all of these things that you think are going to happen. You stood here and you lied before the TV cameras. You stood and crushed the backs and the trust of every undocumented person in this city and told them that they're safer today than they were the day before. You lied. You lied. You lied. DanielGus.substack.com.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Greenspan, the floor is yours. Please begin.
Mike Greenspan, UCLA football sucks dick like this one. Yes, folks, it's a big game tomorrow. And have we paid for it. It keeps costing us. I mean, why do they say defund the police? We should be defunding UCLA, especially their athletic department. I believe in grand juries. If they weren't protected in the state by all their fans, in the legislature, we'd have a grand jury investigation and find out why now they are $158 million in debt just at the Athletic Association. Usually that's a cash cow. Moo! But no, we're in debt. We only were $103 million when they decided to join the Pac-10, looking at that as a bailout. It's time to get somebody sent to prison for misuse of funds. UCLA football sucks a dick like this one and always will because it's misusing our money.
Thank you, Mr. Greenspan. Hello.
Yay.
The floor is
Yes.
yours. Please begin.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Latia Stevenson. I like to speak on all items in public comment.
You have a minute. Please begin.
Thank you. I'm thankful for the opportunity to come and speak today, and I want to say that First off, I would like to say that when you guys act, I appreciate it, like when Ms. Hutt came down from her bench to come and assist us and place us in a facility, as well as Mr. Armstrong. They immediately, Armstrong meaning the police officer that's standing behind us, they immediately had somebody come and help us. But our rights have been constantly violated. We're still in a space that has 3 beds with 6 children and 2 adults. And last night when I was reading my daughter a bedtime story, one of the ladies came in. She retaliated against me. I guess she found out that I had came down here, and she came into the room and turned the lights off on me while I was reading my daughter a story. I did look like the minutes is going down, but I thought I was going to have 3 minutes. But I will say that I have the right to be treated with dignity and respect. I have a right to religious liberty. I have a right to privacy and confidentiality. I have a right to be treated with cultural sensitivity. I have a right to self-determination and identifying goals. I have a right to present complaints and grievances.
Thank you. Thank you, Speaker. Okay, so I don't know if they signed up, I'll assume they did, so please. Okay, Ali, it is your turn.
Hi, my name is Ali, and I'm 6 years old, and I'm an artist, and I wish my family can get our house back.
Put this down and talk clear.
Thank you very much.
And yes, we don't appreciate the lights being turned off. I have a right to have an advocate present during appeals and grievances, because I have
Thank you.
concerns.
So, no. But we will hear from his sister, whose turn it is now. So if we can hear from Ali's sister, that would be good.
Maybe say something that you want, whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi. My name's Aya, and I'm a dancer, and I would like to be.
Look at me, say what you. Tell them about what happened when they walked in that door.
A bigger house.
A bigger house, a house. Because we haven't been housed. We're in a one room with all of my whole entire family.
Thank you. Okay. All right, and now, oh yeah, if you'd go that way so that we can get the next speaker in. Hi, good to see you.
Hey, general public comment.
Sure,
Council.
you have a minute. Please begin.
I would like to thank the city clerk's office for really taking up the step to give and producing the Braille. There's a major problem with the Department of Disability. They lack people. It's not a fancy issue and so forth, but it happens. We need to do more. Problem with the Department of Neighbor Empowerment, I had to pay $200 several times to have people get translations for sign language because the NEAs and those cocksucker motherfuckers over there never contact so people could have sign language. For some reason, I get contacted from stakeholders I don't know, and my issue is for make sure someone has access. These people are just terrible at Department of Neighbor Empowerment. They're just fucking so terrible. They just do whatever they take. And also my Braille that they owe me, they always send it 3 weeks later. I can't blame the council, but it really needs to be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, John Lee, you still have your friends
Okay.
asking about you in Vegas.
Please go ahead.
You know what I'm talking about, right, John Lee? So, I'm a dreamer. I wish Los Angeles would fix this problem on homelessness. But the truth is the budget of $500 million was stolen. So why the fuck we have a woman with her children here asking you for accommodations for housing? You got $500 million motherfucking dollars and you can't house 5 children for the winter into the 20 end of this world? What the fuck's wrong with you assholes? Do something about it. Do something about it. And you, Lee, stay the fuck away from Vegas. 42 C 1983 politely. Fuck you.
Thank you. Hi, Speaker. You have a minute. The floor is yours.
Jesus fucking Christ. All right, you guys, you dumb motherfuckers need to understand this. If you're not ripped, if you're not rich, if you're not rare, it doesn't mean fucking shit to me. If you're driving in your Rolls Royce and you got straight tits, you look like a fucking clown to me. I'm just laughing at your dumb fucking ass. You know, people say dumb fucking shit like, Wes, you rent your place. Yeah, motherfucker, I pay $95,000 in rent. Motherfucker, you can't even afford $9,500 in rent. Why don't you just be fucking humble, you stupid fucking faggot? Why don't you ask intelligent questions like, yo, Wes, you got a better bitch than mine. How'd you do it? Yo, Wes, your car is nicer than mine. What's up? And that's what you dumb motherfuckers don't understand, you know? You gotta be fucking humble. All right?
Thank you. Thanks, Speaker. Got it.
Thank you,
We
Speaker.
need to move
Next
on to
speaker.
the next speaker. No, your time's expired. Thanks. Okay. Okay, Speaker, please begin. You have a minute.
Really? $30 minimum wage? We have American citizens living on the street, and then somehow you are giving those illegal $30 minimum wage? We have American citizens living on the street, and somehow you are giving those illegal free housing? We have American citizens who do not have enough food, who do not have enough food on the table, and then you are giving those illegal free housing, free big house? We have illegal citizens, we have law-abiding citizens who are under attack by those whole criminals on the Figueroa South Central, and then somehow you are trying to give them a free housing just because they have 3, 4, or 5, whatever kids? We need to take care of American citizens first. You guys, every single one of you are voted by American citizens. Not any one of you are voted by an illegal. So I want to make sure, is this the legal city of Los Angeles, or if this is the illegal city of Los Angeles? We have legal, law-abiding citizens that are dying on the street, and somehow you are giving those money to criminal and illegal.
Thank you. Hi, please begin.
Thank you. Audit LA. I'm here to just remind Ms. Rahman that she owes me an apology for how she spoke to me before the homeless committee meeting, 2 weeks ago now. If you need lessons on how to do it correctly and how to treat people, ask Mr. McCosker. He is the A standard for respect in this house, and so I'm going to help you campaign, sir, even though I don't live in your area, because he's A+. And even Ms. Padilla, she's come a long way. I'm proud of her too. So, Ms. Rahman, I'm waiting on that apology. I am also asking you to please give this child's birthday is coming up, Christmas is coming up. Let's give them a bigger home. You know what I mean? Like, there is a lot of money there that has not been spent. Bless this family, you know, please, please, please. And please, for the love of God, can you please, even though I know Ms. Rahman doesn't want to hear repeat stuff too much, please remove the planters off of L. Ron Hubbard Way in Fountain. It is not ADA compliant. I have a right to access the streets. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Harriet Elliott, CD 10.
Sure, and if you pull the mic down a little bit, we'll hear
Okay.
you better. Thanks. So please begin.
3-inch Sheriff says he's being harassed sexually and he's being discriminated against. The back of my shirt says the CIA killed 20 of my friends They did. It's mostly through directed energy weapons cancer. Everyone, you'll see, if you ever look at my dad, my mom, my brother, my ex-husband, my son was killed more. There were other things besides cancer, okay? More than 20 people killed. I need someone to help me. This woman is a soul sister for me. I'm not religious like her. She's deeply religious. And we're both targeted individuals with directed energy. You want to know about directed energy? Livid. That's a popular book right now, 2020. And she's Patricia Cornwell. Please get it. You'll see all about directed energy. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Spindler, you have a minute. Please begin.
Yes, and it's too bad we want to pay tribute and join me, especially Unisys, for the late Kevin De Leon, a moment of silence. We will now pray for Kevin. Dear Lord, let's hope that these other council criminals don't rat you out for that 2021 meeting over there at the union headquarters. Let us hope that they don't knock and announce and raid your house. Let us hope that Pat, known as Tim McOsker, will use his bar license and help defend you when the time comes. Because you fucked up, Kevin, pretty bad here. We tried to save you, but, you know, like the Bible says, you can't teach a man how to fish. You have to steal the fish to feed them. Shut up. Ew. So finally, and I'm wearing the hat here, to begin next month, a Merry fucking Christmas month. As we go, and we will read passages out of the Bible in Turin to prove one thing: God doesn't exist, and Tracy Park is Satan.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. Hi, you have a minute. The floor is yours.
All right. I see that Katie is here. I'm glad. I've been trying to get a hold of you for about a year and a half about this issue. Today I'm here to talk about the economic terrorization that is happening to a frontline LAX worker. The living wage law is made before the ACA, and it is flawed. The insurance section has been, with my airline, who is non-union, they have decided that they can charge somebody $17,424 a year for health insurance. It violates the living wage. They don't care. You can make 4.5, if you're 4.5 years at Delta Airlines working your gates, they will take over $4 an hour from you for health insurance. They will make you pay premiums. They will take you off your overtime. I paid $8,600 for health care, while Delta said my insurance was worth $7,900. That doesn't include the overtime. Please, please, I have emailed multiple times. The city looked at this and failed me. They can't understand it because the law is broken. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mares. You have a minute, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. You know, I want to thank the council for honoring Native Americans. This is what a Native American wears today. But it's interesting, you know, I get 1 in 10 times to speak. You have a right to hear me. But it isn't a gentleman like this gentleman on the end, a white man who denies me my voice. It is Mr. Dawson and the other man up there right now. It's Mrs. Nuri Martinez, who cuts your throat and disgraces everything in this hollowed area. The result and what we have with the public today insulting you is because of what she did and what Mr. Dawson continues. Yes, you can try to stop my voice, but one thing, being here 36 years, you should see the stack of stuff I have. And boy, is it dangerous. And I'm actually being offered $25,000 if I will turn it over. It's unbelievable what I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, Speaker. You have a minute.
My name is, good morning, Council. My name is John. I live in the North Mariposa area, and I'm here to oppose the affordable housing projects that are planned over there. I'm writing to each of you to impose the projects in this neighborhood, and for the affordable housing, for the magnitude. For on Mariposa, they want to build 183 units. on a street that barely accommodates parking. There's a school right next to it. The traffic is horrendous over there. It's not that we're opposed to it. It's just that we ask that they downsize from 183 to something feasible for the area. The traffic is already bad. They've already got 3 or 4 projects planned for the East Hollywood area within a block radius, and it's just something that we ask the council to look into. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, speaker.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Suzy Dovlatian. I've lived in East Hollywood neighborhood for approximately 30 years, and we have a project coming in that is overwhelming our community and are being singled out to suffer through this. And it's not fair that we are being forced to give up a disproportionate amount of space. So we don't think that this is a fair process, and it's not fair that 90% of the city is exempt from these type of projects. You're opening up our community to these developers that was originally not meant to be, and we just don't have the infrastructure to handle the type of services that's needed to provide additional 184 units. We don't want the community feel to be altered. The development is actually not helping people, it's hurting people. It's forcing people out of their homes because it's creating incentives for developers to take advantage of the land and focusing on over-concentrating these type of developments and big buildings in East Hollywood that otherwise would not have been built. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Bakhchaijan. I'm an East Hollywood resident. This is about the same street, Mariposa. We landlords and tenants on Mariposa do understand about ED affordable housing. But between Fountain and Santa Monica, Mariposa Street is not designed to build a huge 182-unit building. By building this apartment on Mariposa, it doesn't mean you guys are creating housing. It's only going to create disaster for whole block. Nobody will be able to function their daily life on this street. I suggest the government officials who is going to approve this project to visit the street in person to understand it's impossible next to elementary school on the narrowest street to build something like this. It will be living in hell for the new tenants of the building and for the residents of Mariposa. Thank you.
Hello, speaker. You have a minute, and the floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is regarding the same issue, AD1 incentive program of 184 units that is planned to be built at 1205 North Mariposa. This area is being singled and targeted. That's how we feel because we looked around the area and there's several structures that the same program is being considered. At the same time, did anybody do their homework? Did anybody go and look at the situation of the street? Very narrow street, 2 cars can barely pass each other. The school traffic is right there throughout the whole day. So this is an impossible project. The city should have gone to look before approving anything of this big, of 184 units that is impossible to be built in this street. There is no such big building in this whole street, and there is school traffic with narrow. That is a fire hazard emergency.
Thank you. Hi, speaker. You have a minute. Please begin.
My name's Doug Haynes of the East Hollywood Neighborhood Council. I listened to everyone here for over 2 hours. I'd appreciate it if you listen to me. East Hollywood has been ground zero for density bonus projects, and subsequently, East Hollywood had the highest population loss in LA County in the last census. Almost 7,000 poor minority residents were forced out. Now we're under siege with PD1 projects, which are affordable in name only. Moderate income tenants can make up to $117,000 a year, and a studio apartment can rent for up to $1,750 a month. No one in my neighborhood can afford that. R1 zones are exempt from 81 projects. That's 72% of LA. The housing element would further exempt 6 community plans and 7 CPIOs. People fear that what remains will lose the existing affordable housing and drive the poor out, and those fears are real. If you're serious about providing affordability, you enact an inclusionary housing requirement of 15% affordable in all projects. I tried to speak on Tuesday, but I and many others were unable to get into the meeting. I hope that when this comes before the city council, that you will actually open it up for public
Thank you.
comment, because this is
Thank you. Hi, Speaker. You have a minute. The floor is yours.
It's not enough. Hi, I'm Jonathan Foster, 54, just a homeless guy. We're still fighting the Mexican-American War. This building has been letting Mexican illegal aliens kill citizens of all types. And I would just want to say, let's get to the meat of it. You have to turn the illegal aliens over to ICE, and we're not talking about a house raid. We're not talking about a house raid. We are not talking about a house raid. We're talking about when you deal with a criminal and they're illegal, they have to be turned over to ICE. This is the Murder Approval Board, same as the LAPD Commission. You know the LA Child Protective Services is broke? And what you're allowing and encouraging more women to bring their little kids over here, which is child abuse. My last name is Foster. Foster, I know all about child abuse, and I know that this is child abuse. You're a liar. You say it's about the money. It's only $45 in paycheck and $10 in gas, but what you're spending on illegal aliens is a fortune. You liars. How do we...
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker.
Thank you, Speaker.
Speaker, you're disrupting the
Officers.
meeting. Stop.
Officers, can you please remove this person?
If there are any other speakers that have not been called, please line up.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry about that. hold on
Officers,
one
subject
second.
to Rule 7 and 12, can
Okay,
you please
you've
remove
been
this
ejected
gentleman
from
for
the meeting.
disrupting our meeting?
He is, I believe he's making threats as well. Okay. Hold on one second, Speaker. So I'm sorry you got cut off, so please begin.
Okay, it's okay. Hi. Last night, we was reading in the computer room where we stay, and then the lady, her name is Genesis, she just came up and turned the lights off and stuff. We was reading. My mom was reading the book to us, and then and then once we was done, we went upstairs into the laundry room and watched the phone, and then we left, went to the room for a second, and we come back, the door's locked, and she was ignoring my mom. She locked the door to her office and closed the window and locked it so we won't talk to her. And then
trying to file a grievance.
and then my sister, she couldn't get her iPhone, her phone out the laundry room, and then she didn't give us no diapers for last night for the baby.
A form of retaliation because they found out I came down here. So I just want to make sure that our grievance is heard.
Thank you.
Okay. So, thank you. So let's see. Sorry, ma'am. We need to listen from other people. Do we have more people in the room who are giving? None here, so we're moving to the phones.
Seeing as there are no more speakers here in council chambers, can we move to the phones, please?
Speaker with the last 4 digits, 8015, please state your name and the items you'd like to speak to.
So, speaker with the last digit 8015, if you're there, please press star 6 right away to unmute yourself, or we'll move on. Okay, I think we should move on to the next person. And Mr. Spindler, would you please be quiet so that we can conduct our business?
Speaker with the last 4 digits, 9519, please state your name and the items you'd like to speak to.
Yes, my name is Jason. I'm a smoker scandier.
Okay, you have 1 minute. Please begin.
Thank you, white boy. And shout out to the smoke can community. The other day I was down on Figueroa with this chick, and I paid her $5 to let me push her shit in there for a minute there. And she was telling me how her father, she would take her to the store, and he would send her into the store for a pack of cigarettes and a bottle of Canadian Mist with no money, but she always came back with that plus a free popsicle. And I was trying to figure out, how she got it done there. How'd she go in there with no money and come back with all these groceries and stuff? And she said it wasn't hard. All she had to do was touch it with her mouth. So I was trying to explain to her how, that's not how, commerce works. You don't go into a store, and not give you $5 and, expect to get a little baby batter dispensed down your throat hole for a minute or two there. But I was wondering if maybe we can get something done about that down there on Figueroa. Maybe put a couple fathead posters there and put a little signage up there. How, you got to pay to play. It ain't free. I know it's $5 a head and you got a head to get in free, but, it costs a little bit there, a little bit of time, and their knees get worn out because you're down on your knees all
Thank
day.
you.
But,
Thanks, Speaker.
Yeah, let's look into that there. Yeah, you're welcome. You have a good day,
next
brother.
speaker.
Shout out to the smoking community.
Next speaker, please.
Y'all have a good.
Speaker with the last four digits, 4208. Please state your name and the items you'd like to speak to.
Rob Kwan. Like to use my general public
Yes.
comment to say hello, my dear Fable. Can you ask Marte or Graciano to check and make sure the members haven't strayed from the back room? Because now that McCosker and Park have left, it looks like we got 7 people on the floor. So just make sure they didn't step out to go grab some food or photo op or something. For the members who are there, I just wanted to flag that Mayor Bass is clearly struggling to come up with some Charter Reform Commission picks. She's had a lot of big appointments lately, so understandable. Please give her your ideas and understand that our committee, that they were just winging it. Paul Krikorian decided to throw in a restriction on anybody who's donated to the appointing authority. So it can't be somebody that's donated to Mayor Bass within the last 4 years, which really does make her job tough, because who wasn't throwing money at Mayor Bass when she was running for office? So please come up with some ideas. Karen needs help. Give her a call. Get her a good charter commission appointed. We got to get that thing off the ground. Don't you think, Fable?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kwan. Next speaker.
Speaker with the last four digits, 9716. Please state your name and the items you'd like to speak to.
Hi, general public comment, please.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, City Council. It's been 2 hours that I've been waiting on the phone. So, in regards to the Sanctuary City Ordinance, I do want to mention that Kevin DeLeon, when he was a lawmaker in Sacramento, that he passed the Sanctuary City law in Sacramento. Basically, that law does not exempt criminals. Just want to make that very clear. Second thing I would like to say is that it's just sad that we have a resident who is unhoused, who's coming to the city council asking for housing, but instead of helping her, I've noticed that the migrants who just arrived here, they're getting front seats, front line priority over residents in this city, and that is totally unfair to the residents of the city of Los Angeles. I just wanted to also say that it's also dangerous that we have a dangerous gang that.
Thank you, Speaker.
Speaker with the last four digits, 3255. Please state your name and the items you'd like to speak to.
I used a different phone. So yeah, I see Kevin DeLeon showed up again today while you honored Indigenous people, even though Kevin DeLeon is anti-Indigenous. Kevin DeLeon lost re-election, so he's not going to be in council next year. He's a lame duck council member. That's right. Now you passed your Sanctuary City Ordinance, but why did you exempt the LAPD from it? That's the main department that needs to be held to the Sanctuary City Ordinance. That's the main one this should be targeting, but because we know they're the main ones that are going to be collaborating with ICE, and you just exempted them from it. Marquise needs to stop lowering my hand on the phone. Every time I call in, my hand's lowered. Why is that? Why does my hand keep getting lowered? You need to do something about that.
Speaker with the last four digits 2616. Please state your name and the items you'd like to speak to.
Yeah, it's Eric Previn. I'd like to speak on item 5.
So,
6, and
Mr.
a general
Previn,
public comment.
actually, all we have available is 1 minute of general public comment. So you have a minute. The
Well,
floor
but
is
point
yours.
of order, he just asked me which items I wanted to speak on. Was that just to lather me up and then shut me down?
I'm sorry that you're lathered up. You have a minute. Please go ahead.
All right. Well, first of all, I don't disagree with Senator Gravener that the lowering of the hand is extremely creepy, Mr. Harris Dawson. And if you think you're going to get away with it, you should look twice. It's not going to happen. You got to tighten up your protocol so that it's fair and reasonable. Item 5 is I was thrown because it's a police garage activity, which is not pleasant for a progressive group. But it's run by a guy named Moshe Dayan, who was an Israeli retaliationist from years ago. He was sort of a hero for some people and a scoundrel for others, but very interesting. I don't think there's any relation. I tried to do a looking. I would suggest that when you have presentations like this today, you should put them on an agenda so we can review them like at the County Board of Supervisors. And I would also suggest that when you have public speakers on camera, they should appear the same size as the Indigenous people. And the Indigenous people who are honored today should also understand that everybody should be visible to the public, including you, Fauble. Good to have.
Thank you, Mr. Previn.
Speaker with the last four digits 3713. Please unmute yourself. You have 1 minute of general public comment.
Hi, this is Ruthless. The city controller last week found $513 million unspent of homeless budgeted funds in the city, and that is enough for $1,000 per month for a whole year for every person living outside or in a car or a van or an RV, a tent, a tarp, a shelter, on certain vouchers, and in a bridge home, pallet shelters, and everything to get $1,000 a month for a whole year. So the city of LA needs to do a better job at spending this money and not claiming that it has no money for homelessness. We've been requesting a lived experience advisory commission through CF 191020 for 5-6 years now. The council file has now expired, so I can't think of a better time to have lived experience commission so we can watchdog these funds that are supposed to be spent on assisting us so that they don't go unspent. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Speaker with the last four digits 3007. Please state your name. You have 1 minute of general public comment.
For those of you in the back of the room, can you please take your comments outside council chambers? All right, Speaker, go ahead.
Okay, Speaker.
Mr. Chair, those are all the callers.
All right, we've taken public comment. I'm now closing the phone lines and closing public comment on all items. Madam Clerk, are there any items that council can vote on?
The desk is clear. Council has motions for posting and referral.
Posted and referred.
The desk is clear.
Members, any announcements?
Thank you, Council President. We're going to start Energy and Environment at 1:30.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Yaroslavsky. Any other announcements? Seeing none, members, can you please stand for adjourning motions? All right, thank you, members. On my left, Mr. McCosker.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I would like to adjourn this meeting on behalf of all of us in the honor of Anthony Tiger Podu, a beloved father, grandfather, devoted husband, Anthony was born on December 15th, 1936 in San Pedro, California. He passed away peacefully in his sleep on September 7th, 2024, at the age of 87 at his daughter's home in Signal Hill, California. Tiger was the youngest son of Anton and Domina Podu, who immigrated from the picturesque island of Vis and the town of Komija in Croatia. His father was a fisherman in San Pedro, known for his boat, the Johnny Boy, a very famous boat in our area. Tiger was the youngest sibling, preceded in death by his older brother Nick, and is survived by his brother Germ, who is now 91 years old. A dedicated family man, Tiger adored his wife Margaret, who sadly passed away during the COVID-19 pandemic. Tiger is survived by his daughter, Tony Ann, and her husband, Brian Whitey Griswold, along with their two sons, the grandsons, Ryan and Taylor. His oldest son, Mike, and his wife, Nancy, who have two children, Robert and Sydney, along with Mike's older children, Aaron, Shannon, and Kevin. His youngest son, Tim, and his wife, Kylie, are parents to Jason and Caitlin. Tiger and his brothers were well-respected ILWU Marine clerks. They worked on the waterfront. They were known for their work ethic and for their camaraderie with one another and with the rest of the ILWU sisterhood and brotherhood. He was known for his sharp wit and playful sense of humor, which endeared him to so many folks on the docks and throughout Pedro. An avid painter, he expressed his creativity through acrylics, capturing vibrancy in his paintings and his unique style. In addition to his artistic talents, Tiger was an enthusiastic baseball player and a fan. His favorite team was the Los Angeles Angels. His spirit and love for the game were evident from the numerous teams he coached throughout his life, which was quite an ILWU tradition of having the women and men of the ILWU coach and work with our youth. He was allowed to share his love of the game with others. Tiger leaves a legacy filled with love, laughter, and cherished memories. He will be deeply missed by his family and all that knew him. Anthony Tiger Podu will be remembered for his generosity, his devotion to family, his vibrant spirit, and the joy that he brought to all around him. May he rest in peace.
Thank you, Mr. McCosker. Any other adjournments on my left? Councilmember Blumenfield.
Thank you, colleagues. Today I rise to honor the remarkable life of Barbara Joyce Clayton Lake, a pillar of our community and an inspiration to all who had the privilege of knowing her. Barbara was the eldest of 6 children, Robert and Ruth Clayton of Memphis, Tennessee. She was born in 1941 and moved with her family to Los Angeles in 1944. She was raised here in Los Angeles and attended Trinity Elementary School, John Adams Middle School, and Manual Arts High School. She was a Cal State LA and UCLA alum. Professionally, Barbara was a lifelong educator who spent her entire career working for LAUSD, beginning all the way back in 1963. Barbara was not only a devoted educator, but a visionary leader who exemplified the best of what it means to serve. Her career with LAUSD spanned decades, during which she shaped countless lives as a teacher, a principal, and a mentor. Even in retirement, when most folks might just rest, Barbara continued to dedicate herself to our schools, stepping in wherever and whenever she was needed, proving that her commitment to education was not just a job for her, but a life's calling. Barbara's impact extended also beyond the classroom. She was a force in organizations like Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, the Lynx, and the Los Angeles arts community. Her leadership was transformative, and her determination to elevate those around her was unwavering. Whether renovating homes, organizing workshops, or bringing the arts to underserved community, Barbara made an indelible impact. When she walked into a room, you knew it. She carried herself with unmatched grace and purpose. Her laughter was infectious, her words carried weight, and her vision inspired action. Barbara loved her family deeply and spoke of them with immense pride. Her husband, Haley, her daughters, Holly and Kelly, son-in-law, Roger, her granddaughter, Holland, and her extended family were the center of her universe. Her love for them was as boundless as her dreams. Barbara was a woman who dared to imagine a better world and worked tirelessly to make that happen. She believed in education, in the arts, and in the idea that every individual, no matter what the circumstances, deserved access to opportunity and beauty. Today, we adjourn in her memory with a promise to carry forward her dreams, passion, and commitment to building a better future. May Barbara rest in peace.
Thank you. Any members on the right with adjourning motions? Councilmember Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I ask that we adjourn today in memory of Dane Brown, who tragically passed away on November the 6th, 2024. Dane was a courageous individual whose life was a testament to resilience, strength, and an unwavering commitment to justice. Dane Brown was one of the victims of Ed Buck, whose crime shocked our community and brought national attention to the vulnerabilities faced by marginalized individuals. Despite the hardships he endured, Dane took an active role in the fight for justice, bravely sharing his story and working alongside advocates to ensure that Ed Buck was held accountable for his actions. Dane's contributions were instrumental in achieving justice, and his efforts helped shine a light on systemic inequities that demand our continued attention. His courage and determination have inspired countless others to stand up for truth and fight for the safety and dignity of all people. Unfortunately, after Buck's conviction, Dane struggled with housing insecurity, mental health issues, and addiction. Dane's body was later found deceased on a sidewalk in my district near Vernon and McKinley Avenues. We mourn Dane's memory, but today we honor and recognize the profound impact he had on the pursuit of justice and the protection of vulnerable communities, and we commit to continuing the work to honor his legacy. Dane, you may rest peacefully. May you rest peacefully, as your memory will be a blessing to us all. Your contributions and bravery will forever be a part of the fabric of our community and a source of inspiration as we strive for a more just and equitable world. May you rest in peace.
Thank you, Mr. Price. Any other adjournments on my right? Before we adjourn, to all council members, city staff, city employees, anybody listening, I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. This meeting is now adjourned.